Chapter 1159. Genius 1 second remember, for you to read. Taking a deep breath, Night Sorrow took out the space splitter and stretched his right arm forward. He condensed his Zhen Qi and controlled the quantity, then used the Void Extreme Kill. As the purple dot jumped, the spatial barrier was melted into a small black dot. Now was the time. This was the chance Night Sorrow needed. He flashed into the 8-Dragon Cauldron and controlled the 8-Dragon Cauldron, which had shrunk to the size of a grain of sand, to rush out of the spatial turbulence and into the world of Heaven Tiger Pass. Phew. Let's see if anyone is here to investigate, Night Sorrow said after taking 2 deep breaths. No, there are almost no fluctuations. We won't be discovered. Your Highness, what's that move? Summer City asked. It's a special battle technique. I'll start setting up the array in a moment, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Be careful, Commander, Nu Lin said. He felt that they could succeed as long as they were careful. As long as Night Sorrow made the first move, the 9 Heavens army would be useless if they couldn't take down Heaven Tiger Pass. He also knew why Night Sorrow had brought him here. He wanted him to watch the whole process. When the battle started, he wouldn't refute and would only support. After waiting for a while, and making sure that no one had discovered them, Night Sorrow controlled the 8-Dragon Cauldron, and moved it to the inner part of the field. He began to move. Night Sorrow was setting up the array in the 8-Dragon Cauldron. He kept throwing out spirit stones. The field was very hard, but Night Sorrow's energy had the ability to cut through space. It was no problem for him to penetrate deep into the ground. 15 minutes later, Night Sorrow looked at Sandalwood and the other 2. Whether we're discovered or not depends on this hammer. After speaking, Night Sorrow threw out a spirit stone. This was the spirit stone to activate a small 1000 development illusionary array. It was the last array foundation of the array. The space fluctuated for a while and stabilized. Night Sorrow also flashed out of the 8-Dragon Cauldron and stood in the array. At this time, a group of people came to the edge of the field. They took a look and left. They had felt the energy fluctuations, but they were not strong. They thought that it might have been caused by someone's cultivation and left. Night Sorrow shook the 8-Dragon Cauldron and brought Sandalwood and the others out. They can't see us. Now is the time for us to carry out our plan, Night Sorrow said excitedly. Very good. We have a high chance of winning. Everything else aside, once we set up the teleportation array, we will start the battle. Without the defensive array of Sky Tiger Pass, our 9 Heavens Legion will not be afraid of them. Nu Lin was also very excited. No. It's best we leave some backup plans and make more preparations. That will reduce our losses. Night Sorrow shook his head as he continued setting up and expanding the array formation. Summer City also had things to do. Every time Night Sorrow set up an array formation, he would use his will and rule power to help hide the energy fluctuations. This was different from when he tore open the space barrier. That was the energy fluctuations between 2 worlds. He could not help hide it, but now he could help. For hours later, a large illusion array with a diameter of more than 10 miles was set up by Night Sorrow. In the middle of the illusion array, Night Sorrow also set up a teleportation array. After setting up the teleportation crystal, the crystal lit up. Forever be forever free read novel. What's the next step? Nu Lin's face was red. He was too excited. It was almost time for him to make a name for himself. Night Sorrow said, Next, I'll need your help. Senior brother, go to the Qing Emperor's palace and apply for a battle. Also, tell him about the defense area. Also, Nu Lin Monarch, teleport back and find someone to set up a teleportation array, so that our men can enter the battle quickly. Junior brother, you have to be the one to request the battle. You are the commander of the army. If you want to slap someone in the face, it will only hurt you. Once Nu Lin finishes setting up the teleportation formation, we can go back together and request the battle. It won't take much time. Sandalwood looked at Night Sorrow and shook his head. Night Sorrow said, That's fine. Our next target is the Sky Tiger Army's 4 barracks. When the battle starts, they won't be able to coordinate with each other. It'll be easier for us. Next, Yi Shang entered the 8-Dragon Cauldron. He led Sandalwood and Xia Cheng, who had also entered, to the nearest military camp. Then he began to set up the array formation. This time, Yishang set up the Heavenly Adept Grade 1000 Diffraction Array Formation that he had developed after his array formation cultivation had advanced. Normally, it would be difficult to set up an array formation in a barracks because there were many experts. However, because there were so many experts, no one was on guard. Everyone thought that the small energy fluctuations were caused by cultivation. Night Sorrow used half a day to set up an array formation around the barracks. Back in the 8-Dragon Cauldron, Night Sorrow knocked his forehead. I can't go on. I didn't bring enough spirit stones. The 9 Heavens Army's resources are managed by the 4 generals. I don't have any with me. Sandalwood was stunned when he heard Night Sorrow's words. Don't worry. There's something I haven't told you yet. You took His Majesty's reward and the Samsara token. Manager, he didn't think it was safe for her to keep the 30,000 sacred spirit stones, so she left them with me. Summer City took out a storage ring and handed it to Night Sorrow. You came at the right time, so we can continue. Senior brother, Uncle Xia, remember the location of the formation. Once the battle starts, don't worry about anything else. Just insert 2 Holy Spirit stones filled with energy into the ground of the formation, and the formation will be activated. Only a few soldiers in this camp will be able to escape, said Yishan. Night Sorrow then used 3 days to set up the cutting array formation in the other 3 barracks. After returning to the illusion array, Night Sorrow let Sandalwood and Uncle Xia out. He brewed a pot of tea and thought. At that moment, Newlin arrived with the other 3 generals. Commander, when are we going to fight? Qin Leitang asked. I forgot about a very important issue, Night Sorrow said with a sigh. Junior brother, the cutting array formation in the barracks are set up. Is there anything that can affect the battle? Sandalwood asked. My idea has always been to fight and take it. But how do we defend it after we take it? The 2 sides of Heaven Tiger Pass are ancient glaciers that cannot be crossed. Therefore, this canyon became a natural stronghold. The Crimson Emperor Kingdom has been operating for countless years, and it is all about defense. The direction of the stronghold's defense is facing our Azure Imperial Dynasty, and they don't have any defenses against themselves. This led to the fact that after we took it, there was no natural defense. If they want to fight, they will fight. How many people do we have in the 9 Heavens Legion to fight them? Night Sorrow's words made them fall into deep thought. This was indeed a difficult problem. I can set up some arrays, but they're not good enough. I can only use them in the middle of a battle. If I just leave them there and wait for them to break, they won't be able to do it. I don't have that ability, Night Sorrow explained. Your Highness, I'm sorry. I only know how to fight. I don't know how to set up arrays, Summer City said apologetically. How about this? We'll report this to His Majesty. If we can't defend it, then we'll destroy it. No one will want this stronghold in the future. If we want to fight, then we'll fight to our heart's content. Our 9 Heavens Army has never been afraid of anyone, Tranquility said. Chapter 1160. Genius 1 second. Remember, I'll bring you an exciting novel. Good. I also need to prepare a battle report. Jantan nodded. All of you wait here quietly. Don't do anything rash. Night Sorrow looked at the 9 Heavens Army's sovereigns and said, Your Highnesses, please go quickly. I'm in a hurry. Wei Wei said. Night Sorrow and Jantan sat on the teleportation formation set up by the 9 Heavens Army's formation master, and returned to the 9 Heavens building. After a short discussion, Night Sorrow and Jantan arrived at the Qing Emperor's palace's military headquarters. The Azure Supreme Tharch dynasty was a huge peak faction, a super dynasty. Without the Azure Supreme Thearch's interference, everything was run independently. There were also officials overseeing everything. When the 2 arrived at the military headquarters, a few elders stood up to greet Night Sorrow and Jantan. Night Sorrow and Jantan returned the greeting and sat down. I'm Military Commander Tan Lin. Your Highnesses should be here for the 9 Heavens Army's defensive zone, right? An elder from the military headquarters asked. Yes. Call Qing Lin and Qing Wan over. Jantan pulled Night Sorrow and sat down. Tan Lin nodded and sent someone to inform Qing Lin and Qing Wan. Now that there were 2 armies in the empire, The Qilin army naturally couldn't monopolize the defensive zone. After Qinglin received the message, he informed Qingyuan, and the two met at Qinglin Palace. They should be asking for a defensive zone. Brother, you can say that our defense is very good. Give them a barren zone. They can take it or leave it. Qingyuan said. Qinglin nodded. He had the same idea. If they insisted on arguing over a defensive zone, Zhan Tan and Knight Sorrow would lose face. It wouldn't be easy for them to build up their reputation again. When they arrived at the military headquarters, the four princes sat on the two sides of a long table. Below them were some officials from the military headquarters. Your Highnesses, please take a look at the defensive zones. After that, you all can discuss how to divide the defensive zones. Tan Lin said as he took out a military blueprint and placed it on the table. Our Lin Yuan army has defended Dynasty's territory well. Now that the Nine Heavens army wants to take over, it will mess up our original plan. Let's find a place that won't affect the current situation. Green Unicorn immediately rejected the idea of taking action in Dynasty's territory. Is the situation good now? I haven't participated in any wars for 5 million years. Qinglin, what territory have you guys taken for Dynasty? This used to belong to Dynasty, and this used to belong to Dynasty. But now it belongs to someone else. Is it because you're not capable enough, or did you give it to them? Zhan Tan pointed at a few spots on the map. What do you mean? Qinglin was embarrassed by Si Tan's words. I just wanted to tell you to behave yourself in front of me. Don't be so arrogant. If it wasn't for my master, you're just a piece of shit. Zhan Tan stood up and pointed at Qinglin. You've gone too far. Qinglin stood up too. Defense Zone 9 Heavens Army wants it here. Zhan Tan looked at Qinglin Crown Prince and pointed at the map. Impossible. That's the area that I've guarded for 5 million years. You want it? Impossible. Qinglin shouted as he looked at the area that Zhan Tan pointed at. Don't be so arrogant. Why should you take it just because you want it? Green Phoenix stood up too. I won't bully you guys. Knight Sorrow, tell them why? Zhan Tan nodded at Knight Sorrow. Generals, in this area, the Qing Emperor's dynasty has always been suppressed. We've always been on the defensive. The Green Qilin army can't change this situation. The resources that we've used up every year are a burden to the dynasty. Therefore, the Nine Heavens army wants to take over and change this, Knight Sorrow said. The Green Qilin army can't change this, but you can? Qinglin looked at Knight Sorrow with disdain. The Red Emperor's country has always been plundering the Qing Emperor's dynasty, using Heaven Tiger Pass as proof. You guys can't change this, but I can. Therefore you have to give it up, Knight Sorrow said. Hair shameless boasting. If you can take it, the Lin Yuan army will give you the area you want. If you can't, then don't talk so big in the future. The Nine Heavens army will retreat when they see the Lin Yuan army. Qinglin slammed the table and shouted. Insulting Knight Sorrow is nothing, but insulting the soldiers of the Nine Heavens army? Qinglin, you're really something. Since you said that, I have something to say too. What if I take it down? I won't ask the Lin Yuan army to do anything, but you'll take a detour when you see the Nine Heavens war flag. Do you dare bet? Knight Sorrow looked at Qinglin coldly. Do you think I'm afraid of trash like you? I'll give you 1 month. If you can't take down Heaven Tiger Pass in 1 month, then scram, Qinglin shouted again. Military officials, we're all witnesses to today's bet. It's settled. Zhan Tan stood up and said. The military officials all stood up and cupped their hands. They knew that the army's defense area would be a big problem, but they didn't expect the conflict to be so intense. Junior brother, have some tea with master. We're going to work. Zhan Tan called out to Knight Sorrow, and the two of them walked towards the Azure Sky Pavilion. The two of them stood outside the pavilion for a while, then Xian Dozi invited them in. Did you have a fight? Knight Sorrow, what are you planning to do? Qing Emperor looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. I'm here today to ask Master some questions. Master, please make a decision. Knight Sorrow bowed. You're both important. I won't ask about what's going on between you two. Qing Emperor shook his head. He was worried that Knight Sorrow would have concerns. I'm not asking about that. I'm asking if the Qing Emperor's dynasty wants Heaven Tiger Pass, Knight Sorrow said. Yes or no? Do you have to just say it? Qing Emperor looked surprised. Master, if you say no, I'll turn it into a wasteland. If you want it, then you'll have to think of something, Knight Sorrow said. You can turn it into a wasteland? Qing Emperor stood up. He didn't ask about the war between the dynasties, but he knew how important Heaven Tiger Pass was to the Red Emperor's kingdom and Qing Emperor's dynasty. He knew how much influence it had. Yes, I've already made some preparations. I wanted to take it, but I can't. Heaven Tiger Pass is currently defending against the Qing Emperor's dynasty. They don't have any defenses against themselves. If I take it down, I won't be able to defend it. If it falls into their hands, it'll be a threat to us. Knight Sorrow took out the map of Heaven Tiger Pass and placed it on the table. Then he pointed out the key points. Knight Sorrow, Master, this is a good map. Why are you messing it up? Xian Daozi looked at the map and pouted. This isn't messing it up. The places marked here are areas that you can control, Zhan Tan said with a smile. What? Knight Sorrow, you can control these places? Qing Emperor looked at Knight Sorrow with surprise. Chapter 1161. Genius 1 second. Remember, I'll bring you an exciting novel. How can we give up Sky Tiger Pass? We have to. They spent a lot of effort and resources to build it. It would be a pity to destroy it. The Sky Tiger Pass is a natural formation, but I've studied it and can change it to our advantage. As long as you can take it down, I'll find a way to help you build the defense. If you need resources and manpower, the dynasty will provide it. The Qing Emperor made his decision. Okay, then I'll wait for the news. Knight Sorrow bowed. Knight Sorrow, once this matter is settled, I will help you forge a monarch-ranked battlesuit. This is the array disc for the Great Disorienting Fog Array. After taking down Heaven Tiger Pass, release the disorienting fog array in the area you need to defend. Then inform me. The Azure Supreme Tharch handed Knight Sorrow an array disc. Thank you, Master. I'll take my leave. Knight Sorrow nodded. Knight Sorrow and Sandal returned to the 9-story tower. They each drank a jar of wine at the corner of the tower with the Jiutian battle flag. After drinking, Knight Sorrow and Sandal teleported back to Sky Tiger Pass. Commander, when are we going to fight? Sky Tiger Pass is right in front of us. Nu Lin was a little anxious. Knight Sorrow then told them about the Qing Emperor's decision. Commander, please give the order. Nu Lin and the other 3 bowed. Send the people here now. I'll go to the commander's office to poison them. Then we'll start the fight. Knight Sorrow said. Junior brother, we can't do that. You can't use poison in the world of samsara unless you're a practitioner of poison. There's no restriction in individual fights, but if you use poison in a group fight, you'll be a public enemy. That's the rule. Sandal pulled Knight Sorrow back. Then we can only fight according to the current situation. Send the people here first and then assign the task. Knight Sorrow nodded. The 9 Heavens Legion, who were already prepared, quickly teleported into the illusion array. Although it was a little crowded, it was still very quiet. Next, we'll arrange for the battle. 2 military regions will attack one of the enemy's armies in a pincer attack. We'll fight according to the arrangement of the military camps. The 2 armies will be led by 1 army commander. Thunder Army Commander, you'll lead the Thunder Army and Dingxiang Army to attack this place. Knight Sorrow pointed at Sky Tiger Stronghold's northwest military camp on the map. I promise to complete the mission. Qin Leitang tapped his chest armor. General Tranquility, lead the Angry Lin Army and the Tranquility Army to attack the southeast barracks. Knight Sorrow gave Tranquility the mission. I promise to complete the mission. Tranquility tapped his chest plate with his left hand. Remember one thing. If something unexpected happens and you can't hold on any longer, just pour your energy into the ground and hit 2 Holy Spirit stones. That way, you'll be able to trap the enemy. Knight Sorrow instructed Qin Leitang and In Ping. Where is your subordinate? Nu Lin asked. Don't rush. One by one. After the battle begins, senior brother, Old Summer, you 2 will activate the killing array outside the southwest and northeast barracks and trap the enemy. Me, General Nu Lin Army Commander, and General Wei Wei will destroy the teleportation array. Then, we'll We'll meet up at the Stronghold Commander's office. That's where the battle will take place, Knight Sorrow said to Jean-Tan and Summer City. Okay. Jean-Tan nodded. Your Highness, be careful. Your subordinate will go and complete the mission Your Highness has assigned. Although Summer City wasn't willing, he couldn't go against Knight Sorrow's will at this time. Brothers, I Knight Sorrow am very sorry. My combat power is limited, so I'll have to rely on everyone for the upcoming battle. I only have one request, and that is to stay alive. After the battle, everyone must stay alive. Knight Sorrow turned around and bowed to the Nine Heavens Legion. Everyone bowed back to Knight Sorrow. Also General Lei Ting and General Wei Ning, be careful. If the Northwest and Southeast barracks don't have any sovereigns, then you must support the Stronghold Commander's office as soon as possible. Their experts might be at the Stronghold Commander's office. Knight Sorrow reminded Qin Lei Ting and Wei Ning. Your subordinate understands. Qin Lei Ting and Wei Ning nodded. Draw your weapons and raise your battle flag. Let's fight. Knight Sorrow shouted, and opened up a gap in the illusion array. As for the teleportation array, Knight Sorrow didn't send anyone to guard it because Sky Tiger Pass didn't have the ability to counterattack. Once the illusion array was opened, the Nine Heavens Legion moved. Knight Sorrow flew towards the teleportation array, while Nu Lin Army Commander and Wei 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 followed closely behind Knight Sorrow. After arriving at the teleportation formation, Nu Lin's giant halberd slashed towards the two monarchs guarding the teleportation formation. Wei Wei waved his sharp sword and killed some of the guards with his sword chi. Knight Sorrow arrived at the teleportation formation and removed a few teleportation crystals. Then he destroyed the teleportation formation. All right, let's go to the Stronghold Commander's office. Once we take it down, the situation will be settled. Knight Sorrow said and flew towards the Stronghold Commander's office. Commander, slow down. Nu Lin Army Commander rode his beast and followed Knight Sorrow. He was afraid that if something happened to Knight Sorrow, then Jean-Tan wouldn't forgive him, and the Qing Emperor would take care of her. After flying for a while, Summer City and Jean-Tan arrived. The two of them were there to complete their mission, but they were also worried about Knight Sorrow's safety. This was a battle between King and Overlord level. Knight Sorrow's 2-star King was too weak. If the Overlord level attacked, he would die in one hit. Then, the few of them arrived at the Stronghold Commander's office. At this time, the Sky Tiger Pass was filled with whistles, drums, and thunder. Everyone knew that they had been ambushed. When Knight Sorrow and the others arrived, 3 people walked out of the Stronghold Commander's office. Summer City, you are here to do such a sneaky thing. An old man looked at Summer City and said, Jiangzheng, aren't you here too? Summer City waved his sword and said, I am Majesty 4's protector. Majesty 4 is the commander. Of course I am here. The old man with a cold aura, Jiangzheng, said, What a coincidence. I am Knight Sorrow's protector. He is the commander of the Nine Heavens Army. So I am here. No need to say anything. Let's fight. Summer City waved his sword and slashed at the old man. You will all die today. Jean-Tan also held his blood-red sword in his hand. Jean-Tan? Your Majesty, let's go. He is Jean-Tan. Seeing Jean-Tan's sword, Jiangzheng shouted, Jean-Tan, are you crazy? The white-clothed youth standing in front of the Stronghold Commander's office said, I am crazy, but I am fine. Jean-Tan said, It is not a shame that I lost to you. The white-clothed man's face was very calm. Chiwa, you are wrong. You did not lose to me. You lost to my junior brother, Knight Sorrow. Jean-Tan pointed at Knight Sorrow with his left hand. Knight Sorrow. 9 Domain Worlds Knight Sorrow. Seems like you are doing well in the Qing Emperor's dynasty. You didn't handle the Red Capital matter well, and ended up in the Qing Emperor's dynasty. The white-clothed man looked at Knight Sorrow and thought of something. I will kill you today. Nu Lin waved his halberd and slashed at Chiwa. However, another man beside Chiwa stopped Nu Lin. Chapter 1162. Genius 1 second. Remember, I'll bring you an exciting novel to read. Wei Wei, protect His Highness Knight Sorrow. Sandalwood brandished her blade. The blood-red blade carried a soul-shaking aura. There were even black threads circulating within the blade. Destruction energy. Although it was only a small amount, Night Sorrow knew that it was destruction energy. Night Sorrow finally understood why Sandalwood was so famous. It was because her attributes and willpower were strong. The intensity of her attacks was not something an ordinary cultivator could possess. "Your Highness, run!" Jiangzheng roared. His roar was filled with despair because Summer City had already chopped off his left shoulder and arm. After shouting, his body was shrouded in blood as he tried to escape. "Do you think you can escape today?" Universe's 7 murders. Summer City brandished his blade and executed his ultimate move. It was considered a test since Jiangzheng was not on the same level as the Songyun monarch. He had to be cautious. As Summer City executed his ultimate move, the heavily injured Jiangzheng's body was sliced into pieces. However, Summer City, who had taken his weapon and interspatial ring, knew that it was only his combat doppelganger that was killed. At this moment, Sandalwood had also killed White Robe Chiwa. Chiwa attacked a few times to test the waters. He didn't dodge and allowed Sandalwood's blade to kill him. The one that died was also his combat doppelganger. Nu Lin had also finished his battle. Nu Lin, Wei Wei, go back to your respective legions. Without their commanders here, Lei Ting and Calm Peace Legion will be under pressure. Night Sorrow said to Nu Lin and Wei Wei. The 2 of you can go. Elder Xia and I will stay here. Night Sorrow's safety is not a problem. The 3 of us will occupy the stronghold commander's residence. Sandalwood nodded when she saw Nu Lin and Wei Wei looking at Night Sorrow. After dealing with the 2 barracks, the 2 of you will surround the nearest barracks. Take care of the soldiers that rush out. Don't let a single one escape. If you can subdue them, tie them up. Do you have any ideas? Night Sorrow asked. Yes, Commander, don't worry. Nu Lin and Wei Wei nodded. They now admired Night Sorrow from the bottom of their hearts. The army needed such a strategist. Summer City and Sandalwood followed Night Sorrow into the stronghold commander's office. The 2 of them were filled with killing intent, and they killed anyone they saw. Moments later, the commander-in-chief's residence was taken down. Those who weren't killed were sent to the courtyard. There was a group of people kneeling there, as well as some women. These were Chiwa's family members. All of you, quiet down. War is cruel, but I won't harm the innocent. Uncle Xia, watch this place. No one is allowed to touch the resources of the commander-in-chief's office, Night Sorrow said to Summer City. What about you, Your Highness? Summer City did not want to leave Night Sorrow's side. Senior brother and I will go to the other battlefield to take a look. There are still 2 troops trapped by the death trap array that need to be dealt with. We will come over once we are done, Night Sorrow said. Summer City thought for a moment and nodded. With Sandalwood by Night Sorrow's side, it was unrealistic for anyone to touch Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow arrived at the Northwest military camp and realized that the battle had already ended. A few large metal cages were filled with captives. A small group of Thunder Army soldiers was guarding them. The leader of the guards was Achio. Greetings, Commander. Achio and his men bowed to Night Sorrow. Watch them well and don't mistreat them. Soldiers who protect their country deserve respect. After the battle, there will be appropriate arrangements, Night Sorrow said to Achio. Soon after, Night Sorrow arrived at the Northeast Barracks, where the battle was still going on. Qin Leitang and Wei Wei led the Thunder Army and Ding Xiang Army to surround the perimeter of the confinement killing array. They captured and killed the soldiers who rushed out. Commander, you are here. Everything is going well, Qin Leitang said as he waved the large sword in his hand. How are the casualties? Night Sorrow asked. This was what he was most worried about. He didn't want his brothers who came with him to be carried back. There are very few deaths. Some are seriously injured, but more are lightly injured. Qin Leitang's face was filled with excitement when he said this. That's good. We will continue to deal with them in this manner. When there are no more enemies rushing out and there are no more experts left inside, we will release the death trap array and wipe them all out. Night Sorrow waved his arm. Yes. Qin Leitang and Wei Wei bowed. All right, I will go to the battlefield of the angry Qilan army to take a look. Another small group will be sent to the stronghold commander's office to maintain order. Night Sorrow instructed, and went to the battlefield of the angry Qilan army, and in Ning with Sandalwood. The situation at the southwest military camp where the angry Qilan army and in Ping army where it was similar to Qin Leitang's. Night Sorrow arranged for the heavily injured to rest. They would first surround and kill them, then release the death trap array and finish them off once and for all. Following which, Yishang and Santam flew along the terrain of the Heaven Tiger Pass. When they reached the edge of the city, Yishang took out the array disc that the Azure Supreme the Arch had given him, and threw it into the air to activate it. The array was activated, and a fog shrouded the surroundings. After doing this, Night Sorrow and Sandalwood returned to the Stronghold Commander's office. At this time, the Nine Heavens War flag was erected in the corner of the Stronghold Commander's office. The outcome is set. Junior brother, you did well. Sandalwood patted Night Sorrow's shoulder. He was quite impressed. Sandalwood was an invincible commander with tyrannical combat strength. He was good at fighting and killing. He couldn't have used tactics like Night Sorrow to easily end the battle with almost no casualties. Senior brother, don't praise me. The Nine Heavens army is strong enough. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to win this battle. Night Sorrow smiled and shook his head. In the main hall of the Stronghold Commander's office, Summer City hugged his sword and sat. When he saw Night Sorrow and Sandalwood enter the hall, he stood up. Uncle Xia, I'll have to trouble you to make a trip and tell Master that Heaven Tiger Pass has been taken. Now we need to hurry up and figure out how to build a defense. Otherwise, when the enemy counterattacks, our great fog array alone won't be enough. Yishan said to Xiacheng. Okay, I will go immediately. Your Highness, please don't leave Princess Sandalwood and the other commanders. Safety is important. Summer City reminded Yi Shiwen before leaving. Senior brother, after taking down this place, we can use it as a base to attack and defend. It will also be convenient for us to fight against the Dark Abyss, Night Sorrow said. Soldiers always want to make a name for themselves in their first battle. Junior brother, you are ruthless enough. You are destined to be recorded in the history of the Qing Emperor's dynasty, Sandalwood said. Night Sorrow and Sandalwood then walked around the Stronghold Commander's office. Sandalwood didn't know what Night Sorrow was doing. However, after walking for a while, Night Sorrow's face changed. Senior brother, attack the ground. There really is a teleportation portal. Night Sorrow held the Sky Splitter and attacked the ground. When Sandalwood heard Night Sorrow's words, her face changed as well. She slashed the ground with her battle sword. A few feet away, Night Sorrow and Sandalwood slashed through the ground. It was an underground armory. There was a teleportation portal in the middle. There were a few guards on both sides of the portal. One was an overlord and the other was a king. Kill. Sandalwood's battle sword slashed towards the guards. The guards' faces changed. They didn't expect to be discovered so quickly. They could only fight with their weapons. Chapter 1163. Genius 1 second. Remember, I'll bring you an exciting novel. The guards were pushed back by Sandalwood, giving Night Sorrow a chance. When Night Sorrow destroyed the teleportation formation, the guards' expressions changed. We don't have a chance. He's escaped. I'll hold him back. You guys kill that one. He's the key. The Sovereign Lord saw that the teleportation formation was destroyed and shouted, then pounced on Sandalwood. At this moment, Night Sorrow used the spatial Ren to charge upwards. He could not see the cultivation levels of the guards. What else could he do other than run? All of you must die. Sandalwood waved his battle saber and slashed at Night Sorrow's back. He was covering for Night Sorrow. He could not stop all of them, so he could only stop most of them. Night Sorrow came out of the ground, turned around and used the ultimate kill. Killing one is enough. King, who had dodged Sandalwood's attack and caught up to Night Sorrow, swung his sword. The difference between their cultivation levels was too great. This man's sword had forced Night Sorrow back. If it weren't for the spatial shockwave behind Night Sorrow's heavenly desolation absolute kill, he would have been severely injured. Brothers, go! Sensing the intense energy waves, Achio and the rest immediately formed a battle formation to stop King from attacking Night Sorrow. Achio and the rest were not King's match. However, this King's target was Night Sorrow and did not attack Achio and the rest. Therefore, Achio and the rest were able to block him. The ground in the distance was shaking violently. The battle was still going on. Just as Yi Shang and the others were being suppressed by this sovereign king whose cultivation was unknown, Wei Wei appeared. She had originally come back to ask Yi Shang to release the death trap array, but when she saw the situation, she was instantly enraged. She waved her battle saber and suppressed this sovereign king. After a few slashes, she killed this sovereign king. At this moment, Sandalwood rushed out of the ground with his saber in hand. "Junior brother, are you all right?" "Don't worry, I was right. They have a backup teleportation array," Knight Sorrow said. "Commander, what's going on?" Wei Wei asked. "I was worried that other than the teleportation array in the middle of the stronghold, there were other hidden teleportation arrays as well. I didn't have the time to conduct a large-scale search. Senior apprentice brother and I walked around the commander's manor and discovered a hidden teleportation array. Now the hidden teleportation array has been destroyed." Knight Sorrow let out a sigh of relief. If they hadn't discovered the hidden teleportation array, it would have been a huge problem. "Fortunately, junior brother, you are fine. If something happened to you, how am I going to explain it to Master?" Sandalwood was a little angry. The opponent had really caught Knight Sorrow and tried to kill him. What Sandalwood and Knight Sorrow didn't know was that after Chiwa returned, he had begun his counterattack. At this moment, he was mobilizing his men, and had even instructed them to pay attention to a person called Knight Sorrow. Therefore, the people guarding the teleportation array killed Knight Sorrow as soon as they saw him. "Commander, it's like this. We no longer have anyone who can escape from the death trap array. Therefore, I came to ask you to release the death trap array and finish them off," Wei Wei said. "All right, I'll release the array. It's better to finish them off as soon as possible." Knight Sorrow nodded. Knight Sorrow went to release the array and Sandalwood followed. He didn't dare to leave Knight Sorrow's side. If an expert appeared, it would be troublesome. He didn't want the same thing to happen again. After that, Knight Sorrow released the arrays of the two camps. The two armies of the Nine Heavens Legion didn't feel any pressure to kill one army that didn't have much strength left. The Nine Heavens Legion had cages that were specially used to detain prisoners. Knight Sorrow had ordered that those who didn't resist were not to be killed. The furious Qilin army went to guard the area sealed off by the fog array. The Enping army and Dingxiang army went to maintain the peace of Heaven Tiger Pass. The other thing was to search for blind spots. Those who didn't wear the insignia of the Nine Heavens Legion were all captured and detained. Look at the original chapter. The Thunderbolt army was to guard the commander's manor and the prisoners. When Knight Sorrow and Sandalwood returned to the commander's manor, they saw the Qing Emperor standing in the main hall. Summer City and Xian Daozi were standing to the side. "Very good. The Qing Emperor's officials will arrive soon. I'll go set up the array. The impregnable pass has to face impregnable passes on both sides." The Qing Emperor nodded to Knight Sorrow and left with Xian Daozi. "Your Highness, someone just reported that you were attacked. Are you all right?" Summer City asked Knight Sorrow. "With senior brother here, I'll be fine." Knight Sorrow smiled. Soon, someone came to the commander's manor to report that the Qing Emperor's army and the Ministry of Works had sent people over. Knight Sorrow arrived near the teleportation array. "Your Highness, your subordinate Lin Hui from the Ministry of Works has been ordered to bring people here. His Majesty has ordered us to follow your Highness's orders." Lin Hui bowed. "Your subordinate Tan Lin is now at your Highness's disposal." Tan Lin from the Ministry of Works had arrived. "Sirs, please make the preparations. Deliver the materials and arrange for the workers. After that, go to the fog array to survey the terrain. Then draw up the defensive blueprints." Knight Sorrow said. After giving his instructions, Yi Shang returned to the commander's office. Now he had to deal with a problem, which was how to deal with these captives. "Senior brother, I would like to ask, how do we deal with the prisoners in the past?" Knight Sorrow asked Sandalwood. "It's simple. You either submit or kill them. There is no third option." Sandalwood said. "No, there are so many of them. If we kill them if they don't submit, how many people will we have to kill?" Knight Sorrow shook his head and refused. He didn't want to break up other people's families because of him. The elderly would lose their children, and the young would lose their father's love. "Don't kill them? Let them go? Then no one will be afraid of your 9 Heavens army. They won't feel pressured to fight you. Soldiers don't kill. This won't work. Sandalwood looked at Knight Sorrow and said, Senior brother, I don't want to do things against my will. However, I won't harm the interests of the Qing Emperor's dynasty and 9 Heavens army. Knight Sorrow sighed. Okay, think about it. Don't feel too pressured. If you don't want to do it, I will do it. Sandalwood said. Knight Sorrow smiled at Sandalwood. He knew that this was his senior brother. He was willing to take on anything for him. Everything in Heaven Tiger Pass was proceeding in an orderly manner. Knight Sorrow was still studying the blueprints of Heaven Tiger Pass. In the future, this would be the base of the 9 Heavens army. There were some problems that needed to be solved. Knight Sorrow had already approved the blueprints from the Ministry of Works and the military department. The craftsmen had already begun construction on the other side of Heaven Tiger Pass. After 7 days, the Qing Emperor returned. The formation is complete. It is called the Great Emperor's Heaven Sealing Formation. It has the same effect as the Heaven Sealing Formation over there. This is a passageway formation plate. In other words, you need to activate the formation plate to open a path. If you want to go out and fight, you can go out and fight. Without the formation plate, you can't enter or leave. The Qing Emperor handed a formation plate to Knight Sorrow. Thank you, Master. Knight Sorrow took the formation plate and bowed to the Qing Emperor. As for the Heaven Sealing Formation, I will also take care of it. I will make it so that only those with the passageway formation plate can control it. Otherwise, it will be the Heaven Sealing Formation of our Qing Emperor's dynasty. The Qing Emperor said. Chapter 1164. Genius 1 second remember, for you to read. What's wrong? Qing Emperor asked. Master, it's my fault. I don't have a good idea on how to deal with the captives. Knight Sorrow said. I believe you can handle it well. I won't ask. Qing Supreme Tharch nodded. He had just heard Sandalwood's words and knew that Yishang would not face such a problem again. Shock. It was a real shock. The Azure Emperor dynasty was shaken. The 9 Heaven Legion, under the leadership of the new commander, His Highness Yishang, used only 1 day to take down the famous Heaven Tiger Pass in the world of Samsara. After the Heaven Tiger Pass was built in the Crimson Emperor dynasty, it had not changed owners for countless years. Now it was the Heaven Tiger Pass of the Azure Emperor dynasty. In Qinglin Palace, Qinglin was dispirited and his eyes were cold. Qinghuan sat beside him and didn't say anything. They didn't expect Knight Sorrow to really do it. He took down Heaven Tiger Pass in such a short time with the smallest price. The military department reported that less than 50 people died. This was less than 1% of the total number of casualties. This was a loss-free war. We lost. Qinglin took a sip of wine and said, Brother, we just lost. Sandalwood doesn't want to lead the Legion anymore. How long can he be powerful? We could hold on until Sandalwood fell. We can also hold on until he falls. Our Qinghuan Legion is not weaker than him. His cultivation is still low. This is a shortcoming. Qinghuan said. I'll hold on until he dies. Qinglin cursed. Qing Emperor and Xian Daozi, who were studying and dealing with the Heavenlock Formation, were chatting. It's been less than a year. Yishang has only been in our Azure Tharch Empire for less than a year, and he has changed so much. Are my sons and daughters really stupid? No. Qing Emperor looked at Xian Daozi and said, the Heavenlock Formation was not easy to deal with. It was a natural formation, and had been dealt with by the masters of the Red Emperor's kingdom. Now the Qing Emperor had to refine and change it slowly. The key is that he has the support of Sandalwood. Your Majesty's love, Sandalwood's assistance, and his own strength, led to this outcome, Xian Daozi said. That's the main point. If he can get Sandalwood's support, why can't Qinglin, Qinghuan, and the other princes do the same? It's human nature. Knight Sorrow didn't want my only senior brother to be helpless in the dark dungeon, so he tried to help him. However, my other children couldn't wait to step on Sandalwood again, so the result was different, said the Qing Emperor. Anyone with great virtue must have a heart that ordinary people find difficult to possess. Knight Sorrow has such a heart, and besides, he has never thought about fighting for anything. He is actually someone who cares about his own strength, which is very similar to His Majesty, Xiandaozi said. The status that comes with one's own strength is the most stable. He became the king of time and space when he was a little over 100 years old. Slowly settling down, his strength will not be a problem, and he has a lot of space, said the Qing Emperor as he studied the Heavenlock formation. He is a little over 100 years old, and this achievement shows that he is very talented. Now that he is the commander of the army, his achievements will be great. He can go to the Samsara Palace whenever he wants. It would be strange if his cultivation did not improve quickly, Xiandaozi said with a smile. Haha, you see it very clearly. Now I want to see how he deals with the captives. This is the best time to see human nature, said the Qing Emperor. Your Majesty, you have to go back and do work. Don't forget that you promised him a monarch-level armor, said Xiandaozi. The original Q version are, it doesn't matter. It is worth it to have such a disciple. The Qing Emperor smiled. He was in a very good mood. Master and disciple were like father and son. Knight Saro was sensible and principled. The Qing Emperor admired him very much. Even if his son lost a battle, he was still happy. Knight Saro also started to get busy. In the impregnable pass built by the Emperor Heavenlock formation that the Qing Emperor had set up, he set up some trap and kill formations and illusionary formations. Now his formation skills were very high, because the clone in the Heavenlock Hall had been deducing and studying formations. Then Knight Saro made adjustments to the defense of some of the strongholds in the pass. After refining the Heavenlock formation, the original entrance and exit was closed, and the new entrance and exit was made. When the Qing Emperor and Xiandaozi finished refining the formation plate, they went to see the other side of the Heaven Tiger Pass. They noticed the formation that Knight Saro had set up. Using the Emperor's Heaven Sealing formation and the Impregnable Pass as the foundation, you also set up a Confinement Killing formation and an Illusory Killing formation with only one entrance. Very good. The formation is also quite decent. Seeing the formation that Yi Shang had set up, the Azure Emperor nodded in satisfaction. Why don't you teach him some of my divination techniques? Xiandaozi said. If he walks the path of wisdom and support, he can become a great talent. Hold it right there, the Qing Emperor said, glaring at Xiandaozi. You're not allowed to bring that up again. You're my old friend, so I won't bring it up again. Next time, if anyone dares to bring it up again, I'll kill them. Yes, sir, Xiandaozi said, bowing slightly. Remember, the Qing Emperor said. He needs to achieve great things. Support cultivation is fine, but don't touch the heretical path. Your subordinate understands, Xiandaozi said, a bit taken aback. He had never imagined that the Qing Emperor would react so strongly. You don't understand, the Qing Emperor said. You'll understand in the future. Xiandaozi nodded. He understood that Knight Saro still had other things he didn't know about. The Qing Emperor had high hopes for Knight Saro. Otherwise he wouldn't have reacted so strongly. Everyone in the Red Emperor's nation was in a state of panic. Even the Red Emperor, who hadn't shown his face for a long time, had appeared. He was tall and slender, and wore a red robe and a violet gold crown. He stood in the middle of the Red Emperor's palace. The Red Emperor looked like a young man, perhaps in his 20s. However, his face radiated a murderous aura. Father, Chiwa said, stepping forward. It was my fault. Please punish me. Tell me, how did you lose Heaven Tiger Pass? The Red Emperor asked. Chiwa bowed and said, I don't know. I don't know how someone managed to sneak in through the Heaven Tiger Pass. Then, they set up a concealment array in Heaven Tiger Pass and teleported their army in. They then used the array to trap and kill my army. I was unable to fight back. Also, the secret teleportation array was discovered and destroyed, and a large array appeared at the entrance to the pass. So, our counterattack was delayed. Heaven Tiger Pass, which has been defended for countless years, was lost just like that. They were able to sneak in without anyone noticing and set up teleportation arrays and other arrays. They are quite capable. The Red Emperor waved his hand, indicating for Chiwa to leave. Your Majesty, the most important thing now is to quickly take back the Heavenly Tiger Pass. The Heavenly Tiger Pass is a natural defense against the Azure Imperial Dynasty. Against us, they have no way to defend themselves. We can forcefully take it back. An old man stood out and said, "Is the Qing Emperor an idiot?" The moment Heaven Tiger Pass was lost and the teleportation array was destroyed, Heaven Tiger Pass no longer belonged to us. If we want to take it back, we need to think carefully before we can do it. Does the Green Qilan army have the ability to do that now? The Red Emperor said with narrowed eyes. Chapter 1165. Genius 1 second remember, for you to read. Hasn't Nine Heavens army been disbanded for 5 million years? Red Emperor looked at Chihuahua with suspicion. It's Nine Heavens army. Sandalwood has appeared too, Jiangzheng said. To think that the mad demon Sandalwood could reappear. It seems like the luck of the Azure Imperial Dynasty has changed. Back then, when we went to the Nine Regions world to look for the person of virtue, we were at a disadvantage. The Crimson Emperor thought for a moment before saying, "Father, the person leading Nine Heavens army is Night Sorrow, who came from Nine Zones world." Chihuahua looked at Chido. Chido hadn't done his job well, which had led to the current situation. This person is very capable. Since we can't use him, we have to kill him as soon as possible. Pass down my order. Anyone who can kill Night Sorrow will be rewarded with 1 million contribution points. The Crimson Emperor immediately gave out an order. Chihuahua, you will be the commander of Flying Tiger Army. You will be responsible for locking down Sky Tiger Pass. Chido, you will be responsible for building another army. Red Emperor gave another order. The Red Emperor's dynasty's power structure was different from that of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. In the Red Emperor's dynasty, the Red Emperor's princes and grandsons were in charge. This was mainly because the princes of the Red Emperor were very strong, and 2 of them were very outstanding. Chihuahua, I won't disappoint you again. 8th brother, I'm sorry. Chihuahua bowed to Red Emperor, and then he bowed to another man. It was Red Emperor's 8th son Chido. He was also the commander of Flying Tiger Army. 4th Imperial Brother is thinking too much. This time, 4th Imperial Brother was plotted against, and Imperial Brother's heart is also uncomfortable. What can I do for 4th Imperial Brother is reasonable. Qi Yin shook his head. Okay, that's all for now. In addition, everyone think of a plan to take back the Heavenly Tiger Pass. If we don't take it back, we will become the laughingstock of the Red Emperor's country in the world of Samsara. Also, Chihuahua, take this armor and refine it. After saying this, the Red Emperor threw an armor to Chihuahua and disappeared from the main hall. Chihuahua's clone had been destroyed, and now it was his main body that was handling matters. He had bestowed the armor upon Chihuahua, and the Red Emperor was worried that his son would perish. Chihuahua's prestige among the many princes of the Red Emperor was very high, second only to the Crown Prince. His power was only lower than the Crown Prince, and Chi Du controlled the appointment and removal of officials in the court and had great power. If other princes went to the world of 9 domains and caused such a big mess, the Red Emperor might deal with it. However, because it was Chi Du, the Red Emperor did not mention anything about it. The construction of the Heavenly Tiger Pass was a big project that could not be completed in 10 days or half a month. However, with the Emperor's Heaven Sealing formation, the defense was very strong. Night Sorrow was busy for the first few days. After a few days, he relaxed and began to think about the problem, which was how to deal with the captives. He had captured thousands of captives, and among them there were hundreds of king. After thinking for a long time, Night Sorrow still could not think of a good way to deal with them. Kill. He did not want to kill them. If he let them go, it would be like letting a tiger return to the mountain. While thinking, Night Sorrow arrived at the martial arts practice field where the captives were kept. Greetings, Commander. Qin Leitang, who was guarding the captives, led his subordinates and bowed to Night Sorrow. Brothers, you have worked hard during this period of time. It's time to deal with them. Night Sorrow sighed and said, No. Commander Night Sorrow, they're soldiers. They're just following orders and fighting. They haven't committed any crimes. As long as Commander releases my soldiers, I'm willing to submit. I'm willing to do anything for your highness. An old man got down on one knee and cupped his hands towards Night Sorrow. Your Highness, he is the 7 deadly general. Nu Lin and his subordinates attacked together to subdue him. Those two are also generals. The other general was killed by General Nu Lin. Qin Leitang pointed to the other 2 large meteorite metal cages. In the 2 meteorite metal cages, there were 2 people who were being treated specially. They were tied with meteorite metal chains. Commander Night Sorrow, these are thousands of hot-blooded soldiers. They are innocent. You cannot kill soldiers who do not have the ability to resist. If you let them go, we will do what the 7 deadly generals said, and be loyal to you. The 2 men with meteorite metal chains all over their bodies said, if that is the case, I have another choice. The 3 of you will swear allegiance to the Heavenly Tao unconditionally. The 3 of you will swear to the Heavenly Tao that you will not harm the interests of the Qing Emperor's empire. When you return, you will shed your armor and serve the people. You will not serve the Red Emperor's empire. Then you may leave. Night Sorrow looked at the group of captives and said, Most Zinel Chapter 8 previous PS alright. A man keeps his word. I, 7 deadly general, will recognize Night Sorrow as my master from today onwards. I will not betray you. Those who disobey will be struck by lightning. The burly 7 deadly general with a face full of beard swore. The other 2 generals, Ji Feng and Qi Wang, swore as well. To be able to give up everything for your brothers, the 3 of you are worthy of respect. No one has the right to humiliate you. Uncle Summer City, send the 3 of them to the other armies aside from the angry Qilin army. Tell the 3 generals that under my orders, the 3 of them will be deputy generals. When they are familiar with each other, they will be promoted to deputy generals. Night Sorrow said to Summer City. Understood. Summer City was very excited because Night Sorrow had easily increased the strength of the 9 Heavens army. General Lei Ting, arrange for them to swear the Heavenly Tao oath. Just as I said, those who do not swear will still be enemies in the future. Kill them immediately. Those who swear the oath will be released and treated with kindness. Night Sorrow said to Qin Leiting, Commander. 7 Deadly General was a little anxious when Night Sorrow did not say to release the captives. Let me make the arrangements first. Night Sorrow looked at 7 Deadly General. The Red Emperor's kingdom. If you do not go, inform the Qing Emperor's officials. Tell them that I want the families of 7 Deadly General, Ji Feng, and Qi Wang. Tell them to send their families to the Sky Tiger Pass. I will release a few thousand soldiers of the Sky Tiger Army. Night Sorrow said to Kai Feng again. Thank you, Commander. 7 Deadly General and the other 2 bowed to Night Sorrow. Today is my fault. No matter what the result is, I will personally send you away within a month. I hope you can live a peaceful life with your wives and children by your side. From now on, you will have nothing to do with the war. Night Sorrow said to the thousands of captives in the meteorite metal cages. Thank you, Commander. The captives, who had seen no hope, bowed. War is inevitable. This is all I can do. Night Sorrow turned and left. Thank you, Commander. 7 Deadly General, and the other 2 kneeled again because Night Sorrow had done everything he could for them. Get up. How should I put it? There are some things you should not know. Summer City shook his head. He was very emotional. How should I address you? You are following the commander. If you have anything to say, please say it. 7 Deadly General said to Summer City. All right, then I'll take the liberty of speaking out of turn this time. Actually, His Highness didn't intend to kill anyone when he came this time. He said that it was time to solve the problem. He wanted you to swear a heavenly oath and leave. Who knew that you 3 would be so agitated? Summer City waved his hand to block the view of the other captives, and said to 7 Deadly General, and the other 2. He felt that the 3 of them were quite pitiful. 7 Deadly General, Ji Feng, and Qi Wang were stunned. They did not expect this at all. So the commander said that today was his fault. However, he was very considerate. You have nothing to regret, Qin Leitang said. Chapter 1166. Genius 1 second. Remember, I'll bring you an interesting novel to read. I 7 Ju have no regrets. A defeat is a defeat. It is a blessing to meet such a forgiving general. Gale Qi Wang, what do you think? 7 Ju looked at Gale and Qi Wang. We are soldiers. We have no regrets. Perhaps this is fate, Gale said. I have some thoughts. It's a trap. Chi said. Don't let anyone else know. Let's forget about this, Summer City said. Yishang was really happy. He had taken in 3 brave generals by accident. It was easy to find 1,000 soldiers, but hard to find a good general. Good generals were hard to find. From the fact that 7 absolutes were willing to sacrifice themselves to protect the soldiers under their command, he could tell that they were qualified generals. When they arrived at the commander's office, Night Sorrow threw a jar of wine to Sandalwood, who was in charge of the office. Junior, what happened? Why are you so happy? Sandalwood asked Night Sorrow. Senior brother, a meat pie really fell from the sky. Yishang told him what had just happened. Although the 3 of them are stupid, they are hot-blooded men. They are all monarch-level generals. You have earned big this time. Green Qilin and Green Phoenix's armies are bulsh *T. Sandalwood knew that this battle had made Night Sorrow's wings grow. 7 Ju and the others were loyal to Night Sorrow. In other words, they were Night Sorrow's personal strength. That's right. A general like this can definitely lead a good army. We didn't give them a chance to use our strategy this time. Otherwise, we would have suffered a great loss, Night Sorrow said. Although they used tracks, Night Sorrow didn't think it was an unfair victory. The soldiers were the tracks. Night Sorrow didn't think it was an unfair victory. Junior, you don't have to worry too much about the army. When there is a big battle, just come out and command. Let the generals of the 9 Heavens army take care of it. They are all very strong. Nu Lin actually has the strength and ability to lead an army long ago. However, in the Qing Emperor's dynasty, only the generals appointed by His Highness and His Majesty can lead an army. He lacks the qualifications, Sandalwood said. Knowing how to use people is what a general should do. I will take care of it. I just don't know if the Red Emperor's country will send the families of 7 Ju and the others. Night Sorrow nodded and expressed his concern. The military officer will send a letter back to the Empire. Those old officials of the Empire can't fight, but they are good at scheming. The Red Emperor's country also has our Qing Emperor's dynasty's intelligence network. Even if the Red Emperor's country doesn't want to, they can't ignore the lives of thousands of soldiers. They have to send the families over, Sandalwood said. That's right. If they don't compromise, then who would be willing to continue fighting for the Crimson Emperor Kingdom? Since senior brother has said so, it seems like this matter will succeed. Yishang's heart was also more certain. Junior brother, Master went to deal with the Heavenlock formation again. It's already done, but he doesn't want any flaws. Once he's done, I'll go back with him and serve him for a while. With Elder Xia by your side, I'll be at ease, Sandalwood said to Night Sorrow. After seeing Night Sorrow's abilities for the past few days, Sandalwood was relieved. Night Sorrow had the ability to lead the 9 Heavens army. As for who wanted to kill Night Sorrow, Summer City wouldn't be easy to deal with. That's good. Senior brother, you should relax. There are many beautiful things in the world waiting for you to discover. Or maybe you can find a wife for me, Night Sorrow said with a smile. I will haha, Sandalwood said with a smile. Sandalwood, you've changed a lot. The Qing Emperor and Xiandaozi walked in from outside. Uncle Xiandaozi, tell me about my changes. Sandalwood bowed to the Qing Emperor and said, I can't say for sure. The strongest change is that I've become more emotional. I'm not like before, who only knew how to kill. Now I feel more human. Xiandaozi spoke about his feelings. The Qing Emperor nodded. This was the biggest change for Sandalwood. Thereafter, the Azure Supreme Arch gave Yishang an array disc. It was an array disc used to seal and open the Heavenlock array. The Heaven Tiger Pass can be said to be impregnable now. It will be very difficult to force your way in. Just be careful of any tricks. I will return now. I understand. Night Sorrow put away the disc array and nodded. Junior brother, I'll go back with Master. Be careful. Sandalwood reminded Night Sorrow. It's good that you're going back. Night Sorrow, didn't I give you a team of Qing Emperor's guards? They'll be your personal guards. You can bring them with you wherever you go. Don't be affected by what happened last time. They were just messing around. The Qing Emperor said. The Qing Emperor had never given anyone a team of Qing Emperor's guards. Neither Qing Lin nor Qing Wan were qualified. Now, because Knight Sorrow wasn't strong enough, the Qing Emperor was afraid that he would be assassinated. Knight Sorrow nodded and sent the Qing Emperor, Xian Daozi, and Sandalwood to the teleportation array. After returning to the Azure Sky Pavilion, the Qing Emperor sat in the main seat and tapped his finger on the table. After so many years, I've finally gotten my revenge. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. There's also something that will make revered master feel even better. Junior brother somehow managed to subdue the 3 generals of the Crimson Emperor Kingdom. I'm afraid the Crimson Emperor will feel as disgusted as if he had just eaten a fly. He'll have to eat it, said John Tan. Subdued 3 generals? The generals are all sovereigns. How can it be so easy to subdue them? The Qing Emperor looked at Sandalwood in surprise. It's difficult to subdue one sovereign, but junior brother has subdued 3 at once. He didn't even think about it. It's like this. Sandalwood explained the situation to the Qing Emperor and Xian Daozi. Haha. He's so talented. He's so lucky. Those 3 are unlucky. This time, the Red Emperor has no choice but to give up the families of the 3 generals. Of course, if he's determined to be shameless, there's nothing he can do about it. The Qing Emperor said, Your Majesty, the officials of the Qing Emperor's palace have made 2 preparations. The first is to find the families of the 3 generals without going through the Red Emperor's empire's higher-ups. If they find them, they'll find a place to hide them and protect them. If they can't find them, they'll go through the officials of the Red Emperor's empire. The secret guard in charge of monitoring the Qing Emperor's palace stood up and reported. Not bad. They've done it well. The Qing Emperor nodded in satisfaction. It wasn't easy for Knight Sorrow to be at the forefront. He didn't want the officials of the Qing Emperor's palace to fail. So this time, the Red Emperor will have a hard time. He's embarrassed, but he still has to endure it. Sandalwood handed the Qing Emperor a cup of tea. That's right. The Qing Emperor nodded and took a sip of tea. After drinking, the Qing Emperor looked at Sandalwood and said, You have to learn how to make tea. What kind of nonsense is this? The way of tea is a good way to calm your mind. If you can't learn how to make tea, don't leave the Azure Sky Pavilion. Sandalwood didn't say anything. She'd seen Knight Sorrow make tea a few times, so she tried it out. Your Highness Sandalwood, you have to learn. It's impossible to drink it. Xian Daozi took a sip of tea and smiled bitterly. Chapter 1167. Genius 1 second. Remember, I'll bring you an exciting novel. Sandalwood, your junior brother's cultivation is not high enough, but he is very mature in other aspects. Whether it is the way of the people, the way of the people, the way of the heart, the way of the heart, or the way of the body, his attainments are all very high. Not to mention you. Even Qing Lin and Qing Wan are not good enough, the Qing Emperor said. Junior brother is very simple. He is not a scheming person. At least he is not a scheming person. Sandalwood did not expect the Qing Emperor to have such an evaluation of Knight Sorrow. He is not scheming. It is because he cultivates the way of the world. It is easy for him to gain the loyalty of his subordinates. It is easy for him to gain the respect and admiration of others. The Qing Emperor corrected Sandalwood's misunderstanding. Xian Daozi, teach Sandalwood the way of tea. When you feel that you can drink it, let's talk again. The Qing Emperor flashed and left. Studying and deciphering the Heavenlock formation had given him a lot of inspiration. Isn't this torture? Xian Daozi was speechless. He followed the Qing Emperor, and was also a person who knew how to enjoy life. He could not imagine tasting Sandalwood's tea. It was no different from testing for poison. While Knight Sorrow was looking at the construction plans in the commander's office, Old Xia went to the 9-story tower and brought the Qing Emperor's guards over. He told them about the Qing Emperor's decree. In the future, they did not need to look after the 9-story tower. Their mission was to protect Knight Sorrow, not the 9-story tower. The 4 generals of the 9 Heavens Army and 7 absolutes also arrived at the commander's office. Why are you all here? Knight Sorrow asked. He had asked Nu Lin and the others to come over to study the problem of resources. He did not expect 7 absolutes and the others to come. It is like this. Some of my subordinates do not have family to worry about. They do not plan to go back. They want to follow me. The 2 of them are the same. They have some very close subordinates who do not have family to worry about and do not plan to leave. 7 absolutes bowed and reported. That's a good thing. Do they have any requests? Knight Sorrow stood up and asked. There is one condition. They are willing to risk their lives for the commander, but they are not willing to fight against the Red Emperor's nation. In other words, apart from the war against the Red Emperor's nation, they are willing to risk their lives, 7 absolutes said. That's understandable and acceptable. Let's organize these people into a temporary army and treat them the same as the other 4 armies. Then, I'll think of a better way. Knight Sorrow nodded. Thank you, Commander. 7 absolutes, Gale, and Chi Wang bowed to Knight Sorrow. Nu Lin, I called the 4 of you here to solve the problem of resource management. The Sky Tiger Pass is going to be a huge mess. You have to be responsible for everything. The resource warehouse is in the commander's office. Nu Lin, you will be responsible for the allocation and use of resources. And Ping, you will be responsible for the accounts. Lei Ting, you will be responsible for auditing the accounts. After you have checked the resources in the warehouse, you can allocate and use them. The temporary army formed by 7 absolutes will also receive the same treatment, Knight Sorrow said. Yes. Nu Lin and the others bowed and accepted the order. Also, I used nearly 4,000 Saint Spirit Stones to set up the formation. You have to return them to me. Also, you can decide whether the resources will be turned over to the Empire's treasury, or only a portion of it. Knight Sorrow spoke again. The Empire has a clear rule. Military merits are military merits. However, in war, half of the resources obtained from conquering cities must be turned over to the Empire's treasury, Nu Lin said. Half. That's too much. The Sky Tiger Pass still needs to be built. How can we have so much to turn over? If we turn over so much, all of us will have nothing to eat. When we turn over the resources, I will write a statement and give you 30%, Knight Sorrow said. All right. Nu Lin smiled and nodded. This was because Knight Sorrow and Sandalwood were the same. They had to live well with their brothers before anything else. In the past, the 9 Heavens Legion turned over 33% of the resources, which was 1/3. Knight Sorrow was even more ruthless than Sandalwood. Commander, Qing Lin and Qing Wan are preparing to take advantage of His Highness. Isn't this giving them a chance? Qin Leitang was still a little worried. What does it have to do with them? They can do whatever they want. If they want to take advantage of me, they can do whatever they want. I have to turn over 30%. How can they get 10% in 5 million years? It's settled then. Knight Sorrow waved his hand. He wasn't afraid of this. The generals all laughed. They liked Yi Shang's temperament. Soldiers were afraid of following a commander until their bones went soft. If they were afraid of this and that, then they wouldn't be able to do anything. Also, when I'm not around, Nu Lin, you will be in charge of everything in the 9 Heavens Legion. You can even go to war. Now, if 2 of the 4 generals object, your plan will have to be put on hold and reported to me, Knight Sorrow said to Nu Lin. Nu Lin and the others bowed and accepted the order. There is something else. I have set up many arrays around the 4 camps. There are Holy Spirit Stones underground. If the soldiers have nothing to do, dig them out and put them in the storage. From now on, 1 general will be on duty at the commander's residence. 7 absolutes, you 5 will take turns. No one can be absent, Knight Sorrow said again. He waved his hand and sent them away. After leaving the commander's residence, Nu Lin called them to the Nu Lin Army's camp for a drink. It feels good. I have been holding back for so many years. Now that I am with His Highness Knight Sorrow, I don't have to hold back anymore. Nu Lin sighed. The commander looks weak, but he has a domineering aura in his bones. You can't judge a person by his appearance. Wei Wei was a little touched. It's just that his cultivation is a little weak, and Ning said, but her voice was a little soft. What do you know? Do you know how old the commander is? He is not even 120 years old. King is not even 120 years old, and has 2 high-level attributes. How can he be weak? When you are 120 years old, you might still be trying to smooth things over. Qin Leitang interrupted in Ning. So young. Wei Wei was a little stunned. You haven't seen his information, but I have. Almost all the records are legends. He is a realm lord. Do you understand? His main body is immortal in his own world. Who can do that? Even His Majesty can't do that. Qin Leitang said. He is still a realm lord? Nu Lin muttered as he rubbed his beard. Do you know how the commander came to the world of reincarnation? It was Xian Daozi who divined that a cultivator with a body of merit would appear in the 9 regions world. His Majesty sent Qing Luan to the 9 regions world to bring the commander back. Qing Luan left the commander in the Thunder Army. Qin Leitang took a sip of wine and said, So you're saying that the commander-in-chief was once a pawn under you? Wei Wei's interest was piqued. Dogfart pawn. After the commander arrived at the Thunderbolt Army, he started the challenge. You all know about the Massacre God territory. He started the challenge at the Massacre God territory. The strongest squad leader, Qiao, and the strongest squad leader, Wu Jia, were both taken down. You guys know Wu Jia. His cultivation is slow, but his battle prowess is strong. 10 years ago, he also became a 5-star sovereign king. However, he was still defeated by the commander. At that time, he was in the Thunderbolt Army, and the commander was a 2-star sovereign king deputy commander. Qin Leitang explained. Chapter 1168. In other words, although the commander is a 2-star king, he has the power of a mid-level king? And Ning asked. That's right. That was before I took His Majesty as my master. His Majesty has many secret techniques. Now the combat power of the commander will only be stronger than before, no weaker than before. Also, this is just a clone of His Majesty, Qin Leitang said. This is really strong. Actually, it is enough that the commander is a good leader. His arrangement today shows that he trusts us enough. He will give us enough space, Wei Wei said. 7 Ju, now that you are following the commander, we are all brothers. In the future, there will be no distinction between us. The commander talked about the 4 of us today. If more than 2 of us object, then the plan will be put on hold. I will change it here. The 5 of us, if we have a plan in the future, we will follow the majority. If we really can't, then we will report to the commander, Nu Lin said. General Nu Lin, is this appropriate? 7 Ju stood up and asked. It is. I will take responsibility if anything happens. Nu Lin reached out and pulled 7 Ju to sit down. He also poured wine for Ji Feng and Qi Wang. This time the 9 Heavens Army did not give you a chance to fight fair and square. But there is no choice because the commander's strategy has reached this stage. No one can say that the victory was unfair. No one can say that the victory was unfair. In a battle between armies, the commander's strategy and tactical arrangements are the most important. Next is the combat power of the army. The commander of the Sky Tiger Army, Chiwa, is very strong, but this time there was no chance at all. So the Sky Tiger Army lost. This should be a classic battle, Qi Wang said. Here, brothers, I wish you all a happy life in the 9 Heavens Army. Nu Lin raised his wine glass. Knight Sorrow also stretched. Things were going well, so there was nothing for him to do. After that, Knight Sorrow patrolled the Sky Tiger Pass, but Summer City and Feishio were following him. Knight Sorrow could not do without them. Summer City said that unless Knight Sorrow was with his wife, she would not leave his side. Feishio also had the same intention. This made Knight Sorrow feel helpless. Inside the Tianhu Pass, Knight Sorrow patrolled the area. Seeing that everything was normal, he wanted to return to the 9 grand floors to see his family and wife. However, he couldn't leave here. High-grade teleportation stones are hard to come by. Why don't we set up a teleportation formation here, and connect it to Qing Emperor City and the 9 Stories Tower? That would be much more convenient. Knight Sorrow said. He was really worried about his family, because Sikong Chuyu and Aoi were both pregnant. Ask the people from the Ministry of Works. It's impossible that they don't have the materials. If His Highness has a request, they have to deal with it, said the head of Summer City. Night Sorrow then found Lin Hui, the official from the Ministry of Works who was still building the defense of the impregnable pass. We have a teleportation stone in Dynasty's treasury. I'll arrange it right away. Where do you plan to set it up, Your Highness? Lin Hui agreed to Night Sorrow's request immediately. It's the 9 stories tower. The 9 stories tower occupies a large area and there's still a lot of empty space behind it. We'll build it in the future for the families of the 9 Heavens Army to live in, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Okay. The Ministry of Works is also responsible for the construction of the houses for the families of the soldiers. When the time comes, we'll take care of it for Your Highness. Lin Hui's attitude was very good. Out of respect, Night Sorrow brought the 9 Heavens Army this time to show off for the Qing Emperor dynasty. Chapter 1. Part 1. Everything was proceeding in an orderly manner. New Lin brought people and handed over the resources. The accounts were not fake. Along with the account of the resources handed over, there was also a letter from Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow explained that the 9 Heavens Army needed resources. The construction of the Tianhu Pass also needed resources, so they handed over 30%. Even though it was only 30%, it still amounted to 200,000 Saint crystals. There was also a large number of cultivation-aiding pills and some materials, which were worth 500,000 Saint crystals. This was the supreme world. In the profound heaven world, the Tiannan dynasty's Saint crystals were worth a few hundred. In the Qing Emperor dynasty, it was worth tens of thousands. The Ministry of Works also built the teleportation array to the 9 stories tower. However, Night Sorrow only went back to take a look before returning to the Tianhu Pass. The construction of the Tianhu Pass and the heaven locking array on both sides of the Tianhu Pass were not something that could be done in a day or two. Night Sorrow also went to the heaven locking array and the heaven locking array on both sides of the Tianhu Pass. He tried to travel through space, but he found that it was impossible. After knowing how Night Sorrow entered, the Qing Emperor dynasty naturally took precautions. When he set up the array, he strengthened the space and suppressed the turbulence in space. Night Sorrow did not return, but the situation in the Qing Emperor dynasty was surging. Some things gradually emerged, and all of them were aimed at Night Sorrow. They were all impeaching Night Sorrow. It was Qing Lin and Qing Luan who organized the other princes and many officials to impeach Night Sorrow. The reason was that Night Sorrow formed a clique for personal gain, embezzled resources, and wanted to occupy the Tianhu Pass to establish his own kingdom. Night Sorrow did not know about these things, but it caused a stir in the Qing Emperor dynasty. The Shadow Guards had already reported it to the Qing Emperor. They are very good at scheming. The Qing Emperor dynasty did not have any expression on his face after hearing the report. This is too unreliable. Zhan Tan was a little angry, and the hand that was brewing tea trembled. They are not stable. Let's do it again. Xian Daozi said. Back then, no one impeached you because you had accumulated enough power. Night Sorrow has only been with me for a short time, so they naturally want to try. The Qing Emperor dynasty looked at Zhan Tan and said. He knew that Zhan Tan was a little worried about Night Sorrow. Isn't this slandering? Forming a clique for personal gain, embezzling resources, establishing his own kingdom. What is all this? Zhan Tan said. It is slandering. Let's see how Night Sorrow deals with it. This is also a test for him. The Qing Emperor dynasty said. Night Sorrow cultivated in the Tianhu Pass every day. When he had nothing to do, he would read the letter that the Qing Emperor dynasty had taught him. One day, when Night Sorrow was reading the letter, someone from the Qing Emperor dynasty came. It was the Qing Emperor dynasty, who wanted him to go back to the Qing Emperor dynasty. Night Sorrow was a little confused. He did not understand why the Qing Emperor dynasty wanted him. He thought it should be nothing because the Tianhu Pass was a place that had to be managed. There was no way the 9 Heavens Army could be mobilized. As for other arrangements, it was also unlikely. Your Highness, it might be something troublesome. If the Qing Emperor dynasty wanted to see you personally, it would be the Qing Emperor dynasty's guard, not some official from the Qing Emperor dynasty's palace. It seems like it is an official matter. Perhaps someone in the government is causing trouble for Your Highness. Perhaps it is because Your Highness handed over 30% of the resources. Perhaps someone is holding on to it. Summer City understood. Just 30%. Let's see what they can do. Night Sorrow was not afraid of this at all. He could lead the Nine Heavens army to victory, but Qing Lin and Qing Yuan could not. He wanted to see what they could do to him. Everything he did was for the benefit of the Qing Emperor dynasty and the stability of the Nine Heavens army. When Night Sorrow and Summer City arrived at the Qing Emperor dynasty's palace, Night Sorrow smiled when he saw the situation in the main hall. At this time, in the main hall of the Qing Emperor dynasty's palace, many officials stood on both sides. There were around 200 people. The Qing Emperor sat in the main seat. Xian Daozi and Zhan Tan stood diagonally behind him. Qing Lin and Qing Yuan stood at the bottom of the stairs. In the middle of the main hall, Night Sorrow tidied his robe and bowed to the Qing Emperor. Chapter 1169. Greetings, Master. Night Sorrow bowed to Qing Emperor. Rise. Do you know why I called you here today? Qing Emperor asked. Someone must be looking for trouble with me. Since Master doesn't look for trouble with me, I don't care about the others. Night Sorrow looked around and said. How do you know that I'm not looking for trouble with you? Qing Emperor was stunned when he heard what Night Sorrow said. Because Master knows that everything I've done is for the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Master will only support me and won't make things difficult for me. Night Sorrow said casually without any pressure. All right. Stand aside. Night Sorrow, I've called you back. You can speak now if you have something to say. Qing Emperor nodded to Night Sorrow. Look at the original chapter/section/tick at that moment. An official came out with an account book. The Nine Heavens army seized 670,000 Saint crystals from the battle at Heaven Tiger Pass. There are also a number of elixirs and materials for refining elixirs and weapons. However, Commander Knight, you only handed in 30%. Did you take the rest? The dynasty requires us to hand in half of the resources we got from the war. That's the law. You've formed a clique for personal gain, taken bribes and perverted the law. Are you trying to build your own kingdom using Heaven Tiger Pass? That's serious. May I ask what your position is? What's your surname? What's your name? Night Sorrow asked. My name is Qing Yuan. I'm an inspector of the dynasty. Is what I said true? Qing Yuan, the official with the account book, asked. Who allowed you to say that? Night Sorrow asked Qing Yuan, but he was looking at Qing Lin and Qing Yuan. I'm an inspector. Can't I ask about what you've done? Qing Yuan asked. You're an inspector. You should behave yourself. How can you continue to be an inspector if you talk nonsense? Night Sorrow looked at Qing Yuan with pity in his eyes, because he was the victim of a power struggle. Why are you afraid of people talking about what you've done? You seized more than 600,000 Saint crystals and handed over 200,000. Isn't that a fact? Qing Lin stepped forward and said. Originally, I didn't want to sound harsh, but since you've gone to such extremes, I won't be polite either. The Nine Heavens Legion didn't require any resources from the Empire, and it only took them a month to capture Heaven Tiger Pass. Heaven Tiger Pass belongs to the Empire, so how can it be measured in Saint crystals? What's more, your Green Qilin Corps has stayed in that defensive zone for 5 million years. Have you dug out a single feather from Heaven Tiger Pass? How dare you talk about me handing over 200,000 Saint crystals? Night Sorrow's voice grew louder and louder as he spoke. How dare you? Qing Lin's expression was extremely ugly. You're Master's son, and I've always respected you. However, when I was working hard for the Empire, you dragged me down and refused to let me go. I despise you. Is it bold to speak the truth? What a joke. Night Sorrow sneered. Qing Lin, you're His Highness and the commander of the Corps. Night Sorrow is also His Highness and the commander of the Corps. No one dares, Qing Emperor, who was sitting in the main seat, said. But you, Night Sorrow, didn't follow the law and turn over the resources. That is contempt of His Majesty, and is an act of impudence. Another man stepped forward. From his clothing, Night Sorrow could tell that he was a prince. I'll write a letter to report this matter. Night Sorrow replied. That's just your side of the story. Now that things have gotten out of hand, what are you saying? Qing Yuan said. Knight Sorrow understood that he didn't know where his letter was now. Using a letter to report this matter might not work. All right. You're saying that I'm corrupt. I haven't even seen the resources in Sky Tiger Pass. They're all taken care of by the Nine Heavens Army. The Nine Heavens Army still owes me 4,000 Saint Spirit Stones for setting up the formation during the war. How am I corrupt? Knight Sorrow looked at Qing Yuan and asked. The Nine Heavens Army is your subordinate. They'll do whatever you want them to do. Aren't you in control of the resources? Qing Lin blamed himself again. You haven't even touched a single feather in 5 million years. You have no right to talk to me. Go away. Knight Sorrow retorted after hearing Qing Lin's words. You. Qing Lin's face turned pale. He wanted to say that Yi Chen was audacious, but Qing Emperor said that no matter what Knight Sorrow said to him, it wasn't audacious. You didn't hand over the resources according to the law. You're defying His Majesty and the laws of the Empire. You took in the people of the Red Emperor's Sky Tiger Pass. Some of them were taken in, and some of them were released unconditionally. You didn't report this to the dynasty. You're forming a clique for personal gain. You have bad intentions. Qing Yuan said. Sky Tiger Pass doesn't need to be managed, and the Nine Heavens Army doesn't need resources? If I don't manage it properly and they fight back, will you bear the responsibility? Knight Sorrow looked at Qing Yuan and said. That's still your own decision to take in the people of Sky Tiger Pass. How do you explain that? Qing Yuan said. Just because I didn't report it? I didn't deal with it properly, okay? Let me ask you, I haven't dealt with it properly yet, okay? Knight Sorrow looked at Qing Yuan and said in a domineering tone. Father, you heard the question just now. You didn't hand over the resources according to the law. You're defying the laws of the Empire. You're defying Father. You took in the people of the Red Emperor's Sky Tiger Pass and didn't report it. This Knight Sorrow is a wolf with wild ambitions. If we let him lead the army and take power, there will be endless trouble in the future. Qing Lin bowed to Qing Emperor. Does anyone have anything else to say? Qing Emperor looked at the people in the hall and asked. Your Majesty, please punish the Nine Heavens Army's commander, Knight Sorrow. He is defying the law and forming a clique for personal gain. A few officials stood out and bowed. Knight Sorrow, let me ask you something. Are you defying the law and forming a clique for personal gain? Qing Emperor's eyes fell on Knight Sorrow. I didn't take a single spirit stone. I left them for Sky Tiger Pass and for the Nine Heavens Army to fight better. As for forming a clique for personal gain, I have my own world. I don't need to be the king of a small kingdom. Knight Sorrow bowed. Actually, I just want to hear what you have to say. Now stand aside. Qing Emperor stood up. Are you satisfied with Knight Sorrow's explanation? Qing Emperor stood up and looked at the people in the hall. No one dared to say anything, because no one knew what Qing Emperor meant. Why is no one saying anything? You can't do what he did, but he did it. Are you unhappy? Let me tell you. This world is a world of capable people. Qing Emperor's dynasty is a dynasty of capable people. Is there a problem with handing over less resources? Sky Tiger Pass doesn't need resources. In the future, the Nine Heavens Army will be a special case in Qing Emperor's dynasty. If others don't hand over 50% of their resources, they will be executed. The Nine Heavens Army will hand over 30%. Subduing the soldiers of the Red Emperor's dynasty is also a problem? Then who can subdue a few of them for me to see? Even if you have the ability, you will still be accused of forming a clique for personal gain. Knight Sorrow is the realm lord of the Nine Regions world. He has his own world. Why would he care about a small kingdom? Qing Yuan kneel. Qing Emperor pointed at Qing Yuan and shouted. Chapter 1170. Qing Yuan knelt on the ground immediately. Letter. Who asked you to hide the letter? Who gave you the guts to hide the prince's letter? The Qing Emperor was furious. Qing Yuan knelt on the ground and did not say anything. The resource report was sent together with the letter, and the person who handled it. Do you think I can't find out? Or do you think I don't dare to kill you? The Qing Emperor had a murderous look on his face, because Qing Yuan had crossed the line. It was me who hid the letter. Father, please punish me. Qing Yuan admitted. After thinking for a while, he knew that if the Qing emperor decided to investigate, he would not be able to run away. Who gave you the guts to hide a prince's letter? The Qing emperor flipped his sleeves and sent Qing Yuan flying. It was my own idea. Qing Yuan got up and said, "You don't have the guts. Are you not afraid of death?" The Qing emperor looked at Qing Yuan coldly. "I am afraid of death, but I have to bear the consequences of my actions." Qing Yuan looked at Qing Lin and Qing Wan and said, "Father, please forgive my brother." At this time, Qing Shan and some other princes stood out. Qing Lin and Qing Wan were the last to stand out, but they did not say anything. How can I forgive him? How do you think I should forgive him? Continue the endless internal strife after he is forgiven? Take him away. The Qing emperor roared in a low voice. Qing Lin and Qing Wan lowered their heads and did not say anything. They did not dare to say anything. The Qing emperor was furious. No one could touch him. Just as the Azure Arch Guard was about to pull Qing Yuan out, Yishang stepped forward and said, "Master, can I say something? You want to protect him? You want to protect someone who went against you unscrupulously?" The Qing emperor pointed at Qing Yuan. "Master, we all know why he did that. His methods were wrong, and he was not righteous. It would also hurt the Qing emperor's dynasty. However, he did not do anything wrong. He fought for his brother. This reason is enough. I'm willing to do anything for my brother," Knight Sorrow said. Knight Sorrow's words caused Qing emperor's body to tremble. He glanced at Summer City and Xiandaozi, then fell into deep thought. "You are right. Perhaps Master has overlooked an important issue. I apologize to Knight Sorrow and will return to face the wall for a year." Qing Emperor, who was being pressed down by the Qing Emperor's guard, was stunned for a moment. He bowed slightly to the Qing Emperor, and then looked at Knight Sorrow. "I don't need to apologize to you. From the beginning to the end, I didn't think I was wrong. But I want to thank you. You are indeed worthy of Imperial Father's attention. I hope you can stand firm in the future. I hope you can stand firm." Qing Yuan looked at Knight Sorrow and said a few words before walking out. After a few steps he stopped and said, "I did what I should for my brother. I did what I was supposed to do. I have no regrets now. However, I am a little disappointed. I need an opponent to protect me at a critical moment. Perhaps only an opponent like this is a worthy brother." Qing Yuan left. In fact, the Qing Emperor did not punish him. He did not demote him. Facing the wall for a year was not a big deal. In fact, the Qing Emperor's attitude had changed. It was a sign that he recognized him. The Qing Emperor's palace was dead silent. The Qing Emperor, who had returned to his seat, did not say anything. No one dared to say anything either. Qing Yuan's actions and Knight Sorrow's words have touched me. At the same time, I am also somewhat disappointed and gratified. Qing Yuan, if you have time, go visit Qing Yuan. The Qing Emperor instructed Qing Yuan. "Yes, Qing Yuan. Knight Sorrow, I am also responsible for what happened today. Similarly, I will not apologize to you. Thank you for protecting Qing Yuan. I, Qing Yuan, will remember this. Father, I will come another day to ask for forgiveness. I will take my leave now." After Qing Yuan received the order, he looked at Knight Sorrow and cupped his hands before his chest before leaving the palace. "Master, I want the Qing Emperor's palace to negotiate with the Red Emperor's country for the families of the 3 generals. Will I be stopped by anyone?" Thinking of the situation today, Knight Sorrow was worried. "Knight Sorrow, regarding the matter of you and the Red Emperor's country asking for the families of the 3 generals, it was not stopped. Someone has already taken care of it." The Qing Emperor nodded. Then Qing Lin and Qing Wan stood up and admitted their mistakes. They said that they did not care about Qing Yuan. "Everyone in the palace knows what happened. I said that fighting is not forbidden, and you can do whatever you want. However, you threw your brother out today, which violated a great taboo. This will be the only time." After coldly looking at Qing Lin and Qing Wan, the Qing Emperor's body flashed and left. Today's matter came to an end. "Old Summer, everything is fine now. Let's go home." Knight Sorrow shouted to Summer City, who was standing behind him. The two of them left the Qing Emperor's palace under the respectful words of the officials. However, Except for Qing Lin and Qing Yuan, the other princes no longer looked at him with hostility. Today no one dared to protect Qing Yuan, not even Qing Lin and Qing Yuan. However, Knight Sorrow stood up for him. His magnanimity was admirable. The most important thing was that Knight Sorrow said that fighting for his brother was enough reason. He was willing to do anything for his brother. Your Highness, today's matter was handled beautifully. In the future no one will provoke you for no reason, said Summer City. I don't know what Qing Lin and Qing Yuan were like in the past, but now their minds have been blinded by jealousy. The other princes know right from wrong. Knight Sorrow knew this would happen. Your Highness, aren't you afraid that His Majesty will punish you? Asked Summer City, puzzled. From the beginning to the end, Knight Sorrow had never been afraid. As long as I am selfless, why would Master punish me? Knight Sorrow smiled. That's right. His Majesty can't wait to support you. Why would he punish you? However, Qing Lin and Qing Yuan have disappointed His Majesty. He is not disappointed that they dealt with you, but that they did not protect Qing Yuan, said Summer City. Knight Sorrow returned to the 9 grand floors. He went home and drank tea while lying on a rattan chair. He was in a very good mood. In the Azure Sky Pavilion, Zhan Tan was brewing tea. Qing Emperor sat on a big chair and thought for a moment. Then he looked at Xian Daozi and said, "What do you think of today's matter?" Qing Lin and Qing Yuan, as well as some other princes, did not like Knight Sorrow's power, so they tried to make things difficult for him. His Majesty should know this. However, he did not expect Knight Sorrow to have such a sharp tongue. He said that he had not touched a single bird feather in Sky Tiger Pass for 5 million years, and Qing Lin lost the right to speak. How could those princes refute him? Said Xian Daozi. He has always given people the impression that he is humble. After today no one will think that he is easy to bully. Junior brother did not want to scheme. Qing Lin and Qing Yuan could not beat him in a battle of wits, so he came up with an idea, said Zhan Tan with a smile. His words also touched those princes. It is a good thing. Qing Lin and Qing Yuan should reflect on themselves. Also, those princes will interact with Knight Sorrow. They will not reject him anymore, said Qing Emperor. That was the truth. When Knight Sorrow was having dinner, Qing Shan came with another man. Prince Qing Shan is here. Please have a seat. Knight Sorrow stood up to receive Qing Shan. Sorry to disturb you. This is my nephew Qing Yueha. He is Qing Yuan's son. We are here today to express our gratitude. Also, Your Highness has been in the Qing Emperor's dynasty for so long, and we have not come to pay our respects. We are ashamed. Qing Shan introduced the man beside him to Knight Sorrow. Sit, both of you sit. No need to be so polite. Knight Sorrow invited the two to sit. Your Highness is having dinner? Qing Yueha looked at the dining table in surprise. Chapter 1171. We don't need to eat, but how should I put it? It's become a habit. In our family, as long as we're not in seclusion, everyone will eat dinner together. That's how it feels like home. It's also a good time to chat with family. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. I'll go back and try it later. Qing Shan was stunned. They were all cultivators. Who would eat? No one would touch it. Imperial Uncle Qing Shan met with my father. It's not convenient for my father, so he asked me to come and thank him. He wanted me to pass on a message. After experiencing some things, he thought it through. Qing Yueha said, Brother Qing Shan, you all have a misunderstanding. You don't see it and don't think about it. Knight Sorrow looked at Qing Shan and Qing Yueha and said, Please enlighten us, Your Highness. Qing Shan and Qing Yueha cupped their hands at Knight Sorrow. The Qing Emperor's dynasty is the Qing Emperor's dynasty. As long as he's alive, the Qing Emperor's dynasty will only have one master. What level is he at? He's as old as the heavens. So what's the point of fighting? Even if we die, he won't have any problems. Knight Sorrow said. Knight Sorrow's words stunned Qing Shan and Qing Yueha. That was the truth. If the Qing Emperor wasn't old, who could take over? If the Qing Emperor really fell, the Qing Emperor's dynasty would cease to exist. You see things clearly. Your Highness, you're still the one who sees things clearly. In the future, Qingshan Mansion welcomes your highness and madam to visit anytime. Qingshan cupped his hands at Night Sorrow. Okay. In fact, I'm still very sorry. I don't want to fight for anything, but I've still hurt some of the benefits of the imperial family. Night Sorrow said. That's boring. Even if you didn't come, Imperial Father wouldn't see us for decades. If you can make Imperial Father happy, aren't you doing your filial duty for us? Qingshan said with a smile. After drinking 2 pots of tea, Qingshan and Qing Yuehe left the gifts and left. They were just here to visit and didn't want to flatter anyone. As the descendants of the Qing Emperor, they didn't need to flatter anyone. In the latest chapter, looks like you've resolved quite a few grudges. Most of the princes won't be hostile towards you anymore. Sikongqiu came to Night Sorrow's side. I'm not afraid at all. In terms of status, I'm His Highness, and I'm not inferior to anyone. In terms of strength, I'm not strong enough, but I have the 9 Heavens Army. Later on, I'll form a personal guard team. If they provoke me, I'll fight back, Night Sorrow said. When Qinglin and Qingwan arrived at Qinglin Palace, their morale was very low. They had lost. They knew that they had lost completely this time. Qingwan, let's stop fighting for now. We need to think about how we lost to him. We can't fight recklessly anymore, Qinglin said. Qingwan understands. Royal brother, please rest first. Qingwan was not in a good mood either. The current Yishang was already very difficult to topple. She even felt that it was a mistake to become enemies with Yishang. She should not have bullied Yishang. They originally had a good relationship, but now they were opposing each other. After resting for a night in 9 grand floors, Night Sorrow brought Uncle Xia and the Qing Emperor's guard team back to Sky Tiger Pass. The construction of Sky Tiger Pass was still in full swing. Night Sorrow called Nu Lin over. Commander, what orders do you have? Nu Lin cupped his hands towards Night Sorrow. Dismantle all teleportation formations except for those connected to 9 grand floors. The pass isn't afraid of external attacks, but it's afraid of internal attacks. Therefore, some external factors must be dealt with. Send a group of people to guard the teleportation formation in 9 grand floors. Whether it's the imperial officials or the craftsmen, they must be strictly checked, Night Sorrow said. I'll make the arrangements. Nu Lin was shocked. He had thought of many problems, but he hadn't thought of this loophole. The Red Emperor's empire had to attack Sky Tiger Pass because it was a humiliation to the Red Emperor's empire. Nu Lin remembered the other party's methods and felt that it would be difficult to take down Sky Tiger Pass. Otherwise, the Qing Emperor's empire wouldn't have been unable to take down Sky Tiger Pass for so many years. However, the teleportation formation was indeed a weakness that the other party could exploit. Okay. Also, pay more attention to the troops gathered in Sky Tiger Pass. Treat them with sincerity when you receive them. However, you must also take precautions. Deal with them by mobilizing them. Don't let them down, Night Sorrow said. Commander, why don't we send them to the 9 Chong Pagoda to recuperate first? I'll send our strongest men to the 9 Chong Pagoda. If there's a battle, we can teleport there at any time, Nu Lin said. That's fine. We're not afraid of an attack from the outside. The internal defense is the most important. Currently, the most important thing is to take care of the captives and manage the troops, because these people might have clones in the Red Emperor's empire. The Red Emperor's empire might use any trick. If they're ruthless enough, the heavenly oath might be nothing, Night Sorrow said. Okay, then I'll make the arrangements. Keep these people under control and don't move them. I agree to follow 7 Ju, Gale, and Qi Wang's troops to the 9-story tower to rest. If one troop isn't enough, I'll send another troop from the Thunder Legion. Nu Lin reported to Night Sorrow. Then it's settled. Fei Xiu, follow me. The rest of the Qing Emperor's guards will be stationed in the 9-story tower. The safety of my family is also important, Night Sorrow said to Fei Xiu. At this time, Fei Xiu looked at Old Summer because protecting Night Sorrow was his duty. That's a good arrangement. The 2 of us are enough to protect His Highness. There are so many generals in Sky Tiger Pass. Summer City nodded. The Qing Emperor's dynasty's intelligence agents in the Red Emperor's empire found 7 Ju and Gale's families, and secretly arranged for them to be sent away. However, when they reached Qi Huang's home, a problem occurred. The Red Emperor's empire received the news and dug it out from the mouth of a soldier. It was the news that Qi Hua received. A captain of the Sky Tiger army was discovered when he was about to leave the Red Emperor's empire. He was originally one of Qi Hua's personal guards. Qi Hua originally wanted to ask him about the situation, but then he found out that he was about to take his family and leave the Red Emperor's empire. Qi Hua asked angrily, but the soldier didn't say anything. In the end, Qi Hua was so angry that he wanted to kill the soldier's family. The soldier had no choice but to tell him about the current situation. 7 Ju Gale Qi Huang, how dare you betray me? Qi Hua's eyes turned red when he saw that the 3 generals under his command had submitted to Night Sorrow. Your Highness, don't be too angry. The 3 generals are doing this for the sake of the thousands of soldiers, the soldier said while kneeling on one knee. According to what you said just now, does that mean that regardless of whether we send 7 Ju, Qi Huang, and Gale's families away or not, they will still let them go? Qi Hua calmed down a little. Qi Hua immediately sent people to look for 7 Ju, Gale, and Qi Huang's families. However, they were one step too late. 7 Ju and Gale's families were already empty. Qi Hua's men had injured the Qing Emperor's empire's intelligence personnel in Qi Huang's house and intercepted Qi Huang's family's transfer. The Qing Emperor's empire was negotiating with the Red Emperor's empire. At the same time, they notified Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow knew that trouble was coming. The news had been leaked from the captives, and it would be difficult to deal with Qi Huang's family. After giving it some thought, Night Sorrow called for 7 Ju Gale and Qi Huang. 7 Ju Gale, your families are already on their way to the Qing Emperor's empire. Qi Huang, something happened on your side, but don't worry. If you can't solve your family's problem, I'll allow you to return to the Red Emperor's empire, Night Sorrow promised Qi Huang. Chapter 1172. Commander, what exactly happened? 7 Ju asked. Night Sorrow told him what had happened and apologized to Qi Huang. That's because I overlooked something. I thought they wouldn't know about our plan. I thought everyone in the Heavenly Tiger Army had sworn an oath to the way of the heavens. They wouldn't say anything that would harm the interests of the Azure Imperial Dynasty, and they wouldn't put their brothers in danger. However, they also have families. They can go against their oaths for their families, said Yishan. I'll go and find out who leaked the information, 7 Ju said. There's no need to ask. Yesterday, there was a captain of the Storm Army whose body was destroyed by the rules of heaven. It should be him, Storm sighed. Qi Huang, you don't have to worry too much. I'll think of a way. Even if I have to use resources in exchange, I'll get your family back. If I can't, I'll send you back. I just don't know if the Red Emperor's dynasty will still accept you, Night Sorrow said. They won't accept us anymore. The Red Emperor and Qi Hua won't ask why we betrayed them. They will only value our betrayal and won't accept it. Qi Huang shook his head. I'll think of another way, Night Sorrow said to Qi Huang. Then Night Sorrow went to the captive area of the Sky Tiger Army and asked everyone to gather. We're all soldiers. It's our destiny to die on the battlefield. We shouldn't die in scheming. But now there's a problem. The key to the rescue may be you. Night Sorrow told them the problem that Qi Huang's family was facing. Whatever the Commander-in-Chief says, we'll do. Everything that General Qi Huang has done is for our sake. We're willing to do something for Sovereign King Qi Huang as well. The captives looked at Qi Huang and expressed their stand. The new V is the fastest Q4. The Red Emperor's country already knows. Whether or not General Qi Huang's family is here, I will let you go. So it's useless for me to threaten you, Night Sorrow said. Commander, let's do it for real. If they don't send General Qi Huang away, you won't let him go. If General Qi Huang is willing to sacrifice everything for us, we can do the same, one of the leading soldiers said. I'm not here to do anything to you. I just don't want Military Lord Qi Huang's family to be hurt. I'm here to inform you that the time limit for your release will be extended. Night Sorrow spoke his mind. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards the soldiers and returned to the commander's office. He wanted to wait for the outcome of the negotiations with the Empire's officials before making a decision. Only one day had passed, and the officials of the Qing Emperor's dynasty who were in charge of negotiating with the Red Emperor's kingdom had sent back a message. The Red Emperor's kingdom simply gave an excuse, saying that they had gone to look for Qi Huang's family, but there was no news. Then the Qing Emperor's dynasty began to attack public opinion. Tabloids spread to many cities in the Red Emperor's kingdom. In the Coiling Dragon residence where the Red Emperor was resting, the Red Emperor asked Qihua about what had happened. He thought for a moment and said, "It's useless for you to stop them. Kill them? That's a crime against the world, and it'll greatly damage your reputation. It's not worth it." "But I'm not willing to just give them away," Qihua said. "Now you have two choices in front of you. One is to personally send Qi Huang's family to Sky Tiger Pass and say some blessings to Qi Huang and the other two. That way, you can win the hearts of the soldiers who were released. The other is to use a scapegoat and kill Qi Huang's family. But what's the result? Qi Huang might hate Night Sorrow, but it's more likely that he'll hate you. In addition, this incident will greatly damage the reputation of the Red Emperor's kingdom." The Red Emperor looked at Qihua and voiced his opinion. "I don't have a choice. I still need the soldiers at Sky Tiger Pass because they know Sky Tiger Pass well," Qihua said. "Go. It's not a big deal to lose once. Just think of a way to win it back." The Red Emperor waved his hand at Qihua. Qihua bowed at the Red Emperor and left the Coiling Dragon residence. Seven Ju, Gale, and Qi Huang were drinking. Seven Ju and Gale were also comforting Qi Huang. "Killing your family members will hurt the hearts of all the soldiers." "Qihua won't do that," Gale said. "But he has such thoughts. Otherwise, he wouldn't have stopped the people from the Qing Emperor's kingdom from picking up my family members. He knows that the commander will let the other soldiers go. If he's magnanimous enough, he shouldn't have stopped them." Qi Huang was a little disappointed with Qihua's actions. "Don't worry. Commander Night Sorrow won't let us down," Seven Ju said. "Yes. He won't let us down." Qi Huang took a sip of wine. Night Sorrow waited for news from the kingdom. He was worried that the Red Emperor's kingdom would fly into a rage out of humiliation and kill Qi Huang's family. That would cause irreparable consequences. However, someone sent a message saying that a group of people had appeared outside the Sky Tiger Pass sky ceiling array. Night Sorrow investigated and found that it was only a small group of people and a group of family members. The leader was Qihua, who was protected by two elders. "Commander, those are my family members," Qi Huang said excitedly. It seems that he has thought it through. He knows that he has to let them go even if he doesn't want to. It's better to be magnanimous. However, when he stopped us, he already made his stance clear. "Nu Lin, bring some people to guard the entrance of the array." Night Sorrow took out the array board and opened the path. "Night Sorrow, you don't have to be so careful and sneak in to pick them up. If you want them, just say it openly," Qihua said to Night Sorrow, who was standing at the top of the Sky Tiger Pass. "Whether or not I have the heart of a villain, and whether or not you have no choice but to hand him over, we all know in our hearts. There's no need to use any psychological attacks. Qi Huang and the others are also rational people. They won't be affected by a few words. Hand him over?" Yishan didn't want to talk too much nonsense with Qihua. It was meaningless. "Of course. Seven Ju and Gale's family members have been taken away by you. Qi Huang's family members have also been sent over today. I don't want to see the soldiers of Sky Tiger Pass trapped in a cage. When will you let them go?" Qihua asked while looking at the top of the Sky Tiger Pass. Qi Huang has reunited with his family. Seven Ju and Gale's family members have successfully arrived in the Qing Emperor's dynasty. I will let them go immediately. Don't worry. I, Night Sorrow, am a man of my word, Night Sorrow said. All right, Night Sorrow. You took the initiative this time and ambushed Sky Tiger Pass. However, I will take it back. Don't die in the hands of others. I, Qihua, will take 1,000,000 merits. Qihua shouted while pointing his battle sword at Night Sorrow. 1,000,000 merits. It seems like the Red Emperor's dynasty still thinks highly of me. Leave Qi Huang's family members behind and leave. Night Sorrow didn't expect that he was worth 1,000,000 merits in the Red Emperor's dynasty. 7 Ju Gale Qi Huang, we have been friends for many years. This time, It was my Chiwa's incompetence that caused you to be imprisoned. I, Chiwa, am here to apologize to you. I hope that you will live well in the future. Chiwa left with his men. Since he had no intention of staying any longer, he couldn't use psychological tricks in front of Night Sorrow. As for the other soldiers of the Red Emperor's dynasty in Sky Tiger Pass, he could only use psychological manipulation when they returned to the Red Emperor's dynasty. After Chiwa left, Nu Lin accompanied Chiwang down the Sky Tiger Pass. They were all very cautious, worried that Chiwa had a backup plan. Chapter 1173. Chiwa didn't leave any hidden traps, because he knew that it was useless. Night Sorrow wouldn't give spies a chance to sneak in. Night Sorrow heaved a sigh of relief after bringing Chiwang's family to Tianhu Pass. Nu Lin, arrange for people to bring Chiwang's family to 9-story building. Tell Butler he to find a place to settle down. Chiwang, I will give you some time off. Go accompany your family first, Night Sorrow said. After that, Night Sorrow went to the commander's office and brewed a pot of tea. He felt much more assured. Bringing Chiwang and the other two's family members over meant that he didn't break his promise. Chiju and the other two could truly serve him. Chiwang's matter was settled. Soon, news came from within the empire that Chiwang and Gale's family members had arrived and were sent to 9-story building. Night Sorrow brought his men to the camp where the captives were. I, Night Sorrow, have wronged all of you. The families of Chiju, Chiwang, and Gale have been safely brought over. You should go back and reunite with your families. My name is Night Sorrow. I live in the Qing Empire's 9-story building. In the future, when you have nothing to do, you can come to 9-story building to drink with me. Chiju, Gale, and Chiwang will be there too. Men, bring wine. Send our brothers off. Night Sorrow shouted to the Nu Lin army soldiers behind him. Every soldier of Sky Tiger Army drank a jar of wine, and then bowed to Night Sorrow. After opening the ceiling sky formation, and sending the soldiers of Sky Tiger Army, who had family members out of the pass, Night Sorrow waved his hand. All of you are good. Let's be brothers in the future. After sending the soldiers off, Night Sorrow closed the formation and returned to the commander's office. Your Highness, it's over. This is a great victory. Not only did we take over Tianhu Pass, but we also subdued 3 generals. In addition, almost an entire army of soldiers is willing to follow your Highness, Summer City said with a smile. That's right. We've earned a lot this time. Night Sorrow was also very satisfied with his gains this time. Let's go. After sending the captives away, there was one less unstable factor in Tianhu Pass. Those who were willing to stay had already been reorganized. Night Sorrow called Nu Lin to the commander's office. I plan to return to 9-story building. As for the attack on the Red Empire, stabilize it first. If they dare to enter the dark abyss in the west, we'll fight them back. Your Highness, Your Highness. Calm. Brothers, we can't be short on supplies. If there's a war that requires the activation of the Heaven Sealing Formation, or the Heaven Sealing Formation, let me know, Night Sorrow said to Nu Lin. Don't worry, Commander. We have a teleportation formation that leads directly to the 9-story tower. If anything happens, we will be there in a moment. Nu Lin nodded. Lin, Lin Tessa Azavava, when they arrived at 9-story building, Night Sorrow surveyed the environment again. He then decided to divide the area to the west of 9-story building into a base for the 9 Heavens Army. It would be a place for training and living. 9-story building was also known as 9-story Sky Palace. It occupied a large area, several times the size of Green Qilin Palace and Green Phoenix Palace. Building a base for the army would not be a problem. It would also not affect Night Sorrow's daily life. Night Sorrow arrived at the Ministry of Works. In the Ministry of Works, Night Sorrow saw Lin Hui, who was making some estimates. Your Highness, you're here. I've estimated that the construction of Heaven Tiger Pass Impregnable Pass within the Heaven Sealing Great Formation will take half a year. The other construction can be done slowly. Lin Hui stood up and bowed to Yi Shang. Thank you for your hard work. Also, I plan to build a base for the army on the west side of 9-story building. The 9 Heavens Army has never had a base, Night Sorrow said. That will affect Your Highness' living environment in 9-story building. Your Highness, you can apply for a base from the military, Lin Hui said. There's no need to go through so much trouble. When the Ministry of Works has time, just send someone to deal with the training grounds and living quarters. The main thing is that I'm still new to the dynasty, so I can't find any craftsmen, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Your Highness, you're being too serious. Normal craftsmen can deal with the training grounds and living quarters. The ones working in Tian who pass are top-notch craftsmen. There are still many beginner craftsmen who are free. I'll arrange it later. Lin Hui was touched by Night Sorrow's words. His Highness Night Sorrow was indeed a new member of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. All right then. When I'm done, I'll treat you to a drink. Night Sorrow nodded with a smile. After leaving the Ministry of Works, Night Sorrow casually walked to the Azure Sky Pavilion. He stood at the entrance and thought for a while. Night Sorrow bowed and left. Master, why didn't you let junior brother in? Zhan Tan asked Qing Emperor, who was resting with his eyes closed. Why would I let him in? He didn't want to come in. He just walked in, Qing Emperor said. Yes, he walked in with his head down. Zhan Tan thought for a while. Night Sorrow's situation was exactly as Qing Emperor said. After returning to 9-story building, Night Sorrow drank tea and chatted with his family. You can't do anything with a low cultivation base. You have to work hard, Red Shirt said. There were too many experts involved in the battle. Red Shirt and Lanning could not help much. The spatial treasure pagoda is right there. You can cultivate whenever you want, Night Sorrow said with a smile. At this time, 7 absolutes, Qi Wang and Gale came to express their gratitude to Night Sorrow. Thanks to Night Sorrow's efforts, the impact of this battle on them was minimized. It's not a big deal. Those brothers who are willing to follow you can form an army and reorganize. Under my command, you'll be the same as the other troops. There will be no distinction. If no one is willing to fight against the Crimson Emperor Kingdom, then we'll fight against the Dark Abyss in the future, Yi Shan said. Thank you, Commander. There is another thing that you must be careful about. The Red Emperor's nation has issued a kill order for you. Killing you will allow you to go to the Red Emperor's palace to receive 1,000,000 merit points. This is very tempting for many cultivators, 7 absolutes said. Looks like the Red Emperor's nation hates me now. Otherwise, they would not pay such a high price to kill me. Night Sorrow understood that he had incurred the wrath of others because he had taken down Sky Tiger Pass. Yes. Sky Tiger Pass is one of the faces of the Red Emperor's nation. This time, Commander, the Red Emperor will definitely not tolerate this. Thus, some actions will follow. 7 absolutes nodded. In fact, the matter happened immediately. Fei Xiu had captured someone. The person was planning to sneak into 9-story building, but Fei Xiu happened to catch him. Your Highness, it is someone from the Red Emperor's nation. After finding out that the Red Emperor's nation is offering a high bounty, he became tempted. While he was investigating, I caught him, Fei Xiu reported. I have thought about it. Looks like our mansion is really heavily guarded. Reality proved that the situation was indeed serious. I will bring my men to patrol every day, 7 absolutes said. In the future, his world would be loyal to Night Sorrow because the oath said that he would recognize Night Sorrow as his master. Of course, Night Sorrow respecting him was another matter. Chapter 1174. Then the Qing Emperor's guards brought a person into the main hall of the Jiucheng building. After taking a look, Night Sorrow asked someone to take him away. He knew that Fei Xiu would deal with him properly. In addition, such a person, no matter how he was dealt with, would be too much. If he wanted to earn merits and kill people, then he had to be aware that he would be killed if he failed. As for the safety of the Jiucheng building, Night Sorrow was also more assured, because there were many masters in the Jiucheng building, and there were many monarchs. Summer City, Fei Xiu, 7 Jades, Qi Wang and Gale were all monarchs. Unless it was a large army, they couldn't take down the Jiucheng building. The Qing Emperor also knew that the Red Emperor's country had issued a kill order to Night Sorrow, but he didn't ask. He was not worried about Summer City and the strength of the Jiucheng building. He calculated that in the Qing Emperor's dynasty, besides him, the strongest one was Night Sorrow. Even Qing Lin and Qing Yuan couldn't compare with him, and the other princes were not even on the same level. In the dark abyss, in a hall full of piles of white bones, a woman in a black dress and a veil sat on the main seat. This woman was the most famous and the strongest woman in the world of samsara, the Dark Master, Datura Datura. After listening to the report, Datura Datura's fingers tapped. Tianhu Pass changed hands. I really didn't expect that the Qing Emperor's dynasty would be strong again. It is said that the Qing Emperor's dynasty got a practitioner with merits in the Jiuxiao World Group. I went down to investigate and collected the information here. It can be said that this person is currently a key figure in the Qing Emperor's dynasty. His status is far beyond the other princes. Even the most outstanding children of the Qing Emperor, Qing Lin and Qing Yuan, can't compare with him. The reporting man handed over a piece of information. Taking the information, Datura Datura's slender fingers flipped through it. As Datura Datura watched, the others waited quietly, not even daring to breathe. This is where the Qing Emperor is stronger than the Red Emperor and the others. He is broad-minded, and a 100-year-old king with 2 high-level attributes is also worthy of his attention. Looks like the Red Emperor is one step slower, so he is destined to be at a disadvantage in some things. Rowan, it is recorded here that he has a female peak saint king with the death attribute by his side. I want this person. After thinking of a way, bring her back. Datura Datura waved her arm, and threw the information to the black-robed man Rowan. The person she was talking about was Zhu Juyun. This subordinate will do it right away, Rowan said with a bow. It will be difficult, but we can't give up. Also send out the army. Heaven Tiger Pass is at the intersection of our 3 forces. If the Red Emperor's kingdom can't defend it, then we will attack it. They have just conquered Heaven Tiger Pass, and it is not stable yet. Although we can't take it down by force, we will attack from the surroundings and not give them a chance to lie down in the pass, Datura Datura said and then left. The world of reincarnation was a supreme world, and there were many top forces. However, there were only 3 in the eastern region, the Qing Emperor's kingdom, the Red Emperor's kingdom, and the Dark Abyss. The 3 top forces fought each other all year round. After the Dark Dominator left, the officials in the hall began to discuss, and finally decided to send out the Devil Blood army. Devil Blood, we can't take down Heaven Tiger Pass directly. It will waste a lot of our forces. You can surround Heaven Tiger Pass and attack the Qing Emperor's kingdom's territory. This way, the 9 Heavens army will have to go out. If they go out, Heaven Tiger Pass will be empty, Rowan said to another black-robed man. Devil Blood understands. Once they are empty, our Devil Blood army's shadow army will charge in. The man with blood-red tattoos on his face nodded. Then go. If you need any support, let us know. Our Abyss Hall will support you. Rowan nodded to Devil Blood. Knight Sorrow didn't have much to do every day. He just walked back and forth between 9 Heavens Tower and Heaven Tiger Pass. If he had time, he would watch the 9 Heavens army train. The 9 Heavens army's individual combat strength was unquestionable. Now they were strengthening their joint attack formation. This was what Knight Sorrow had requested. In addition, the Black Tiger Army was also officially established. The army's commander was the 7 Invincible. They were equipped with the black meteoric iron armor issued by the military. Currently, all the soldiers were strengthening their joint attack formation. Currently, the 9 Heavens Army had 5 armies. Their combat strength was far superior to the Lin Yuan Army. Knight Sorrow also took some time to study the Heaven Sealing Formation and Heaven Locking Formation. He had the formation disc in his hand, so he could control the formation. Knight Sorrow planned to engrave the Heaven Sealing Formation and Heaven Locking Formation in his mind, and make them part of his formation Tao. Most Newbie * Chapter. Part 1. Knight Sorrow's life was very fulfilling. However, the Qing Emperor's dynasty was a bit chaotic. The Dark Abyss had once again launched an attack. This time, they were attacking the borders of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. After the military received the news, they informed Knight Sorrow to go to the Qing Emperor's palace for a meeting. When Knight Sorrow arrived, the military officials were all present. Green Lin and Green Yuan were also present. Tan Lin took out a map of the Qing Emperor's dynasty, and marked the location of the attack on the Qing Emperor's dynasty. This time, the attack is from the Dark Abyss's elite army, the Devil Blood Army. Their goal is unknown, Tanlin said after explaining the situation. They are targeting the Heaven Tiger Pass. Of course, such a tactic won't be able to take down the Heaven Tiger Pass. However, if the Nine Heavens army wants to fight, they will have to leave the Heaven Tiger Pass. This will cause the Heaven Tiger Pass to be empty. Or perhaps, they have some hidden cards. When they feel empty, they can take down the Heaven Tiger Pass, Night Sorrow said after looking at the attack area. If necessary, the Lin Yuan army can fight. Greenland stood out and said, "For now, I will see how to deal with this. If necessary, I will ask." Night Sorrow looked at Greenland and nodded. The situation is tense now. The Qing Emperor's dynasty can't keep being attacked. Therefore, we need to deal with this. The battle is in the Nine Heavens Army's area. Your Highness Night Sorrow, please come down and deal with it. We will cooperate with you if you need anything, Tanlin said. After Night Sorrow returned to the Nine Heavenly Floors, he took some information and went to the Heaven Tiger Pass. He gathered all the army commanders and commanders in the commander's office. Originally, this should be our time to rest. However, the battle report doesn't give us the time. The Dark Abyss has moved. They are attacking these areas. Night Sorrow took out a map and circled it. They are surrounding the Heaven Tiger Pass. What are they trying to do? Are they trying to move us out of the Heaven Tiger Pass? Newlin looked at the map and frowned. Dark Abyss understands. We've just taken over Heaven Tiger Pass, and our foundation isn't stable yet. We can't just watch our territory get invaded, so we're doing this. However, since we've declared war, we have to fight. Now everyone, let's discuss our battle strategy, Yishan said. We are not afraid of war. We will only show our importance if there is a war. Our brothers also need military merits. However, the prerequisite is that the Heaven Tiger Pass must be stable, Newlin said. That's right. Now we are seeing the Dark Abyss start a war. When the Red Emperor's dynasty receives the news, they will not let us stay idle. Therefore, a difficult time has come. Night Sorrow looked at the group of people in the commander's office and emphasized the difficulty. Here is the second update. Chapter 1175. Newlin and the others stood up. Commander, please assign the tasks. Right now, we have to stabilize the situation. That is to say, we have 5 armies now. 2 armies must be stationed in Heaven Tiger Pass to guard against the Crimson Emperor Empire's attack. The other 3 armies must use their superior numbers to kill the small groups from the Dark Abyss. The key to strategy is to be flexible. After killing a group of enemies, retreat immediately. We must not linger in battle, Yishan said. The others nodded because Night Sorrow's train of thought was correct. Then I will assign the tasks. Thunder Army and Dingxiang Army will guard Heaven Tiger Pass for now. The New Lin Army, and Ping Army and Black Tiger Army will follow me to battle, Night Sorrow said. Yes, Commander. New Lin and the others bowed. Then we can only wait? Qin Leitang was a little anxious. Heaven Tiger Pass is very important. We must not lose it. Once we lose it, we will not be able to get it back. Of course, the 2 Heavenlock Formation and Heavenlock Formation are not places they can easily break in. However, we must be prepared. Wait for the New Lin Army and Imping Army to rest before you go to battle. Night Sorrow said to Qin Leitang and Wei Wei. Qin Leitang and Wei Wei nodded. Wei Wei is impatient. Leitang, please be careful. The New Lin Army, Imping Army and Black Tiger Army are to gather. We will depart in an hour, Night Sorrow reminded Qin Leitang. I will assign a Qing Emperor's guard team to follow your highness. Fei Xiu was a little worried about Night Sorrow's safety. Then assign a team. 9-story tower will leave 2 teams. With the city guards and the Imperial Army, safety should not be a problem. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and nodded. Fei Xiu returned, and the other armies started to gather. When Fei Xiu brought the men over, Redcoat and Lanning followed. The God-slaying team wanted to follow, but I did not agree. They are not bad now, but they are still too weak. They need time to grow. I also agreed to let them go out to train. Fei Xiu reported to Night Sorrow. That's what they should do. They should leave as well. The 9-story tower still lacks a monarch to hold the fort. Knight Sorrow was a little worried. Now that the Red Emperor's empire had issued a kill order for him, many rogue cultivators would come for him. Don't worry, Your Highness. In our Qing Emperor's city, monarch-level cultivators must be registered. If they don't, they will be killed if they walk around the Qing Emperor's dynasty. This is an iron law. Therefore, monarch-level cultivators won't come looking for trouble. If a high-level king comes looking for trouble in our Ninchong Tower, then the Qing Emperor's guards and the Imperial City guards will kill them, said Summer City. Then I'm at ease. We'll start fighting in a moment. I want to see just how powerful the Dark Abyss Demon Blood Legion is. If they dare to come, we'll kill them back. Knight Sorrow's body was brimming with battle intent. A moment later, Nu Lin and Ning 7 Absolutes, Qi Wang, and Strong Wind all came back and reported that they had gathered their men. Knight Sorrow nodded and brought his men to the martial arts practice field. The battle at Sky Tiger Pass was the first battle I led everyone to. Now that another battle has come, as people of the Imperial City, we're not afraid of battle. No matter who comes to invade our territory, we'll fight back. What are they? In my eyes, they can be described in 2 words: opponents and merits. They are opponents that must be killed and merits that must be earned. I, Knight Sorrow, will fight with everyone. Knight Sorrow said to the soldiers in the martial arts practice field. Knight Sorrow's reply was the sound of armor being knocked on. Black Tiger Army, you've just joined, but in my eyes you're all equal. You have to earn merits and make a name for yourself to show others. Knight Sorrow then looked at the Black Tiger Army and said. Knight Sorrow's reply was a wave of weapons. Then Knight Sorrow brought a group of people to the Heavenlock spell. In a moment after I open the array, those with Monarch's cultivation will quickly attack and capture people from all directions. I don't believe that there aren't any spies here. Kill all the spies. After taking out the array disc, Yishang reminded the monarchs behind him. After the Heavenlock spell was opened, Fei Xiu, Nu Lin, and Ning 7 Absolutes, Qi Wang Strong Wind, and the others rushed out to carry out Knight Sorrow's orders. However, Summer City didn't move, because he had to stay close to Knight Sorrow to protect him. Standing in front of Sky Tiger Pass, the 3 armies didn't move and waited for news. A moment later, Fei Xiu and Ning came back with 2 unconscious men. Nu Lin and 7 Absolutes also came back. Commander, I didn't do it well. I accidentally killed him, Nu Lin said embarrassedly. Me too. He was too fragile. 7 Absolutes' face was a little red. What's there to be embarrassed about? I said kill them all. I don't plan on keeping them alive. There's also nothing to interrogate. Just kill them directly. Let's go. Knight Sorrow activated the army command order. His body flashed and flew. He already had a target area in mind. Knight Sorrow's men killed all the spies. However, Devil Blood also knew that the 9 Heavens army was going out. Most of the spies were clones. Their main bodies were in the Devil Blood army's headquarters. The news was immediately reported to Devil Blood. The 9 Heavens army has 4 armies. I wonder how many of them came out. Devil Blood thought as he wiped his battle blade. The spies knew that the 9 Heavens army was going out. However, they were captured and killed before they had a chance to investigate. Yishan led the team and used 4 hours to arrive at the place where the Demon Blood Legion soldiers were fighting. Then, they directly surrounded and killed the Demon Blood Legion. In the time it took to brew a cup of tea, the Dark Soldiers were eliminated. Quickly clean up the battlefield and move on to the next area. Knight Sorrow gave the order. Original release. Knight Sorrow then led the team to the next area. The Devil Blood army was very strong. However, the battlefront was too long. If they wanted to surround and kill everyone near the Heaven Tiger Pass, their forces would not be concentrated enough. Now Knight Sorrow was leading 3 armies and killing small groups. After 2 armies were eliminated in a row, Devil Blood knew that the situation was not good. To be able to kill them so quickly, Knight Sorrow must have led a very strong army. Devil Blood ordered the troops to gather, and then surrounded Knight Sorrow's area. Knight Sorrow did not delay. After eliminating 2 armies, he did not continue fighting. He quickly moved in a semicircle and flew toward another point on the map. Night Sorrow knew that Devil Blood would definitely receive the news and would definitely mobilize people to kill the Nine Heavens army. Compared to the Qing Emperor's dynasty and the Red Emperor's empire, the Dark Abyss' greatest advantage was that they had more dark creatures. Normally, the Qing Emperor's dynasty and the Red Emperor's empire would have 4 armies and 4 armies. However, the Dark Abyss was not like that. The Dark Abyss army had 10 armies and 4 armies each. In other words, the Dark Abyss army had twice the number of soldiers compared to the Qing Emperor's dynasty and the Red Emperor's empire. Therefore, Night Sorrow would not fight them head-on. He could only use mobile warfare to deal with them. Devil Blood led a large group of people to the place where they were attacked. Seeing the ground full of corpses, Devil Blood ordered the people to search around. But at this moment, Night Sorrow had already made his move against another army. Chapter 1176. Yi Shang brought his men and rushed to a place that was further away from the battlefield just now. Only then did he start to eat the Demon Blood army. This time, the 3 armies surrounded and killed the 2 armies of the Demon Blood army. Although it took some time, the angry Qilin army and the other 2 armies did not suffer any casualties. Clean up the battlefield. Brothers, hold on for a while longer. This is our chance to destroy them. After 2 more battles, let's find a place to rest and drink, Night Sorrow said. Yes. Responding to Night Sorrow's deafening roar, the soldiers were very excited. Other than the battle at Tianhu Pass, Night Sorrow led them to fight battles that did not consume any resources. The main thing was that during the battle, Night Sorrow charged at the front with Sky Splitter, fighting to the death like normal soldiers. What was this? This was taking the lead. Everyone knew that Night Sorrow did not need to earn military merits by killing enemies. As the commander of the army, he would earn some military merits every time he fought a battle. What he was doing now was purely to live and die with his brothers. Following which, Night Sorrow led his men to continue attacking the scattered members of the Devil Blood Legion. After fighting for half a day, Night Sorrow led his men to a secluded valley to rest. Commander, the battle results are brilliant. Today we defeated 6 armies of the Demon Blood army, which is equivalent to eliminating half of their army. The Demon Blood army must be feeling the pain right now, Angry Qilin said to Night Sorrow, who was looking at the map. We still have to fight like this, but it won't be as easy as today. No one is a fool. The Demon Blood army will not give us the chance to divide and destroy them so easily. Next, it will be an information war. Whoever can obtain useful information will be able to expand their advantage, Night Sorrow said. Commander, if we fight like this, it will hurt them. What if they gather their forces and advance towards the Qing Emperor's dynasty? Anning asked worriedly. Let them be. We won't be able to defeat them if they band together. Even if we can, we won't fight them. We'll lose too much if we do that. They'll continue to push forward. We'll go to the Dark Abyss and destroy their cities one by one. They'll definitely come after us. Their army won't dare to venture too deep into the Qing Emperor's territory, Night Sorrow said as he closed the map. The commander is right. They don't know that the Nine Heavens Legion is fighting alone. If they go too deep and our empire's legions surround the Devil Blood Legion, will they be able to withstand it? Once we attack their city, they will definitely come back to help. Besides, their target this time is the Nine Heaven Army and the Sky Tiger Pass. They won't go too deep into the Qing Emperor's territory, Nu Lin said. Night Sorrow nodded as well. Nu Lin's opinion was the same as his. The Demon Blood Legion would not fight inside the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Their goal would be to take over the Heaven Tiger Pass. The Devil Blood Legion was furious. They didn't expect that they would suffer such a huge loss so soon after the battle started. One of their legions was defeated by Night Sorrow. Since they were at a disadvantage, they had to change their tactics. The Devil Blood Legion redistributed their forces. That was to have 2 legions move together. The distance between the 2 legions wasn't too big. This way, they would have time to support each other during the battle. Night Sorrow brought his men to repair the base. He thought for a while and decided to scout first before attacking. Nu Lin went to arrange this. The Nu Lin army had trained spies. They were of the dark element and were good at hiding and scouting. The ones that went out were clones that didn't have much combat power. However, they were extremely fast and wouldn't be discovered easily. After a wave of spies went out, Night Sorrow continued to look at the map. Nu Lin and Ning Seven Jades, look here. This is the Dark Abyss Blackwater town. If we attack this place and wipe it out, their men will definitely come back to help. This will disrupt their rhythm. We can cut off a small part of their tail. That's a good idea. And Ning agreed. Nu Lin also nodded. The Devil Blood Legion came out to fight because they have military orders. That's why they are anxious to achieve something. We are different. Right now no one is pressuring us, so we can play with them. We will use this Blackwater town as the center and fight them. When their entire army comes back, we will leave. When they leave, we will come back. When they move back and forth, there will be a difference in time and a loophole will appear. That will be our chance, Night Sorrow said. That's right. If we make them run around, we will have a chance, Nu Lin said as he knocked on the table. Slow down. My teacup. Night Sorrow glared at Nu Lin. Soon, the spies returned and reported the Devil Blood Legion's situation. With two legions moving together, we really can't take them down. Nu Lin, let the spies lead the way. We will go through the gaps between their legions and take down their Blackwater town. Night Sorrow said as he rolled up the map. Then the Nine Heavens Legion moved. Night Sorrow combined the information from the spies and chose a path to take. Within the Azure Sky Pavilion, the Qing Emperor was brewing tea. He drank it while listening to the military officials' reports. Xian Daozi's face was bitter as he drank the tea made by sandalwood. In the past, he felt that drinking tea was a form of life. Now he felt that drinking tea was a form of torture. Night Sorrow is in a difficult situation. The Devil Blood Legion is very strong. They have 10 legions. In addition, Night Sorrow has to defend Heaven Tiger Pass. It's difficult. Hearing Tan Lin's report, the Qing Emperor shook his head. Should we send the Lin Yuan Legion out? Tan Lin asked. Not for now. Let's see the situation first. Although the pressure is great, this emperor feels that he might be able to handle it. The Qing Emperor shook his head. The enemy has 3 times the soldiers of the Nine Heavens Legion. On top of that, the Nine Heavens Legion has to defend Heaven Tiger Pass and the pressure from the Red Emperor's empire. The situation is not very optimistic. Tan Lin was a bit worried. Don't worry. Night Sorrow is not as weak as you think. Defeating the strong is also his ability. If there is any news, report it. The Qing Emperor waved his hand and had Tan Lin leave. The pressure is great. Can this be done? Xian Daozi asked. This could be a crisis for the Qing Emperor's empire. It could also be an opportunity for us to show our might. Secret guards, go and collect all the information, the Qing Emperor said. Yes. A reply came from the shadows of the Qing Emperor's palace. Qing Lin and Qing Yuan were drinking tea in the Qing Lin Palace, discussing the current situation. This could be Night Sorrow's moment of humiliation. To be honest, I don't want to see the Nine Heavens Legion suffer such heavy losses, Qing Lin said. Night Sorrow deserves to die, but the Qing Emperor's empire is ours. Qing Lin is right. Father is here, and the Qing Emperor's empire can't be controlled by others. But right now, we don't have orders from the military, so we can't send troops. If we lose, we can only blame it on Night Sorrow's bad luck, Qing Yuan said. We can only wait. Maybe when the Nine Heavens Legion suffers heavy losses, then we can attack, Qing Lin said, spinning the teacup in his hand. Don't worry. Even if the Nine Heavens Legion suffers heavy losses, it won't shake the foundation of the Qing Emperor's empire, Qing Yuan said. Chapter 1177. Night Sorrow didn't know what was going on outside. After leading the Nine Heavens Legion through a gap in the Devil Blood Legion's formation, they began a long journey. Their target was the Dark Abyss Blackwater town. It was also a defensive town. After nearly a day, the Nine Heavens Legion arrived at the outskirts of Blackwater town. After we enter, Nu Lin, bring people to destroy the teleportation formation immediately to prevent reinforcements and the Devil Blood Legion from returning. Then clean up. Remember, don't touch the old, weak, sick, or disabled, Knight Sorrow said. How will the Devil Blood Legion return? They are currently pressing towards the dynasty's border. Tranquility said. Then can't they return quickly? For example, I have a soul crystal in Thunder Lord's hand. If he shatters it now, I can immediately set up a teleportation formation and insert the crystal in Sky Tiger Pass teleportation formation. Then we can return quickly. Of course, I don't know if others will do this, but we have to be careful, Knight Sorrow said to Tranquility. Don't ask in the future. Just fight according to the commander's orders. Nu Lin glared at Tranquility. However, he was very impressed. Knight Sorrow had calculated everything in his mind. Brothers, it's time to fight. Knight Sorrow waved Samsara and gave the order. Blackwater Town was an important defensive town, but after the Devil Blood Legion's 10 legions entered the fray, the town's defenses had slackened. No one would have thought that someone would attack, so they lacked an effective defense. After a short while, the 9 Heavens Legion had broken through. Tigers and wolves. The soldiers of the 9 Heavens Legion, who couldn't fight the Devil Blood Legion head-on, were filled with pent-up anger. Now that they had a place to vent, they directly attacked the Dark Abyss soldiers in Blackwater Town. Knight Sorrow charged at the front with Splitter. Summer City didn't attack. He just followed. He disdained to participate in this kind of battle. He just had to be careful not to have experts suddenly appear to ambush Knight Sorrow. Nu Lin charged towards the teleportation formation. Qi Wang, who didn't bring an army, followed behind him. The two of them didn't fight. The combat strength of the 3 armies far exceeded that of Blackwater Town. Very quickly, they reached the town's headquarters, which was the commander's office. And Ning, bring some people to collect the resources. Qi Wang, bring a group of people to clean up. I don't want to see the enemy's shadow within 100 miles. The rest of you continue to push in all directions. We'll meet here in 2 hours. Knight Sorrow ordered. Blackwater Town was an important military town. The nearest reinforcements from the Dark Abyss would not be able to arrive within 4 hours. After giving the order, Knight Sorrow went to the plaza in front of the commander's office and started setting up the formation. Your Highness, do we still have a chance to trick them? Summer City asked as she looked at Knight Sorrow. Yes, if everything goes well, we'll be able to achieve great results, Knight Sorrow said as he set up a formation. 2 hours later, Knight Sorrow finished setting up a combination of illusory and killing arrays. In the middle of the illusion array, Knight Sorrow also set up a teleportation array without a teleportation crystal. At this time, all the soldiers had returned to the plaza in front of the town's headquarters. Knight Sorrow asked everyone to go to the area where he set up the formation. Then he activated the formation and hit everyone. Your Highness, what other plans do we have? Nu Lin asked excitedly. If their reinforcements are weak, then we'll eat them. If not, then we'll wait. We're safe in the illusory array. Even if there's a heavenly adept level array that can detect us, I can still activate the killing array. They won't be able to charge in. There's also a teleportation array here. We can fight and leave as we wish, Knight Sorrow said as he took a sip of wine from the wine jar. Then I'll send out the spies to see if there are any reinforcements from Blackwater Town. The number of reinforcements and the interval between them. Then the commander will estimate if we can fight. Nu Lin looked at Knight Sorrow and said, Sure. Send the spies further away. It'll take 2 hours. Report the number of reinforcements if you see any and we'll decide if we should attack. Knight Sorrow said to Nu Lin. He knew that the 9 Heavens Army had their own training system for spies. They were powerful and accurate in delivering information. There was no problem with their safety. They were clones that did not have much combat power and were good at hiding. Nu Lin nodded and arranged for the spies. Knight Sorrow sent them out of the illusion array. Great. It's so great to fight with the commander, Anning said while smiling. Indeed. I feel my blood boiling. Nu Lin nodded. It's because of our brother's support that the war went so smoothly. As long as we can successfully bring them back from Dynasty's borders, we'll have succeeded. In the future, we can fight however we want. They have to follow our wishes, said Yishan. That's right. Watch for free/permanent/free unspecified currency p hashtag. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow told everyone to sit down and rest. They had to be in peak condition for the upcoming war. For hours later, the spies sent back news that the Devil Blood Army's 2 armies were approaching Blackwater Town from the direction Night Sorrow and the others had come from. There were no other armies following them. 2 hours later, the 2 armies arrived. Night Sorrow took a deep breath. New Lin, take a small team and follow me. Kill everyone who sees us. After telling everyone to stay put, Night Sorrow left the illusion array. He rushed to the entrance of Blackwater Town and started setting up the array with spiritual stones. This time, Night Sorrow was setting up the Deathlock array. It was based on the research of the Heavenlock array. New Lin took people and killed all the Dark Abyss troops around to prevent the news from leaking out. Knowing that Night Sorrow was using the cutting strategy in Heaven Tiger Pass, Summer City knew what Night Sorrow was going to do. Your Highness, you plan to trap and kill a portion of them, and then use the 3 armies of the 9 Heavens army to kill them all. That's right. In a head-on battle, our 3 armies can kill 2 of the enemy's armies, but there will be a lot of casualties. If we use the array to trap around half of their forces, then the New Lin army, and Ping army and Black Tiger army will not be under much pressure. We can take them down with the smallest price, Night Sorrow said as he set up the array. Time. Night Sorrow was racing against time. He had to finish setting up the array before the enemy arrived. The requirements were very high. A high-level array that could trap a monarch was not easy to set up. Night Sorrow had used up a lot of energy to set up the illusion array. However, he could only hold on. He had to hold on. This was a chance to deal a heavy blow to the Devil Blood Army. Summer City was very excited because this was too ruthless. If they succeeded, then the Devil Blood Army would lose 3 armies to Night Sorrow. That was equivalent to losing 1/3 of their forces. According to the Qing Emperor's dynasty, that was equivalent to losing an entire army. Night Sorrow used up a lot of energy to set up the array. After close to 2 hours, Night Sorrow finished setting up the array. The spy also received a new message. In the time it took to brew a cup of tea, the Devil Blood Army would arrive. Uncle Summer, I'll leave the activation of the array to you. As long as around half of their forces enter the array, you need to insert 2 Holy Spirit stones into the array I set up. Then, with a long whistle, I will open the illusion array and bring people over. Night Sorrow said to Summer City. Rest assured, Your Highness. I will do it well. Summer City nodded vigorously at Night Sorrow. Chapter 1178. Night Sorrow returned to the illusionary killing array. After announcing the battle preparations, he began to wait. Commander, what's the situation now? Seven Ju, who was standing behind Night Sorrow, asked. Wait. We might have a chance to take down 2 of the enemy's armies. Night Sorrow tightened and loosened his grip on Lai Kong as he waited for Summer City's news. Commander, you're not joking, right? Tranquility also came to Night Sorrow's side. No. You'll know in a while. Brothers, the battle is about to begin. Everyone be careful. When we drink, we can't lose any of our brothers, Night Sorrow said to the soldiers behind him. General Tranquility, our young master never jokes. Lanning glared at Tranquility. Why are you so fierce? Be careful, or you won't be able to get married, Tranquility muttered. None of your business. Lanning retorted angrily. Don't quarrel. The crucial moment has arrived. Night Sorrow was a little excited. If they could take down 2 of the Devil Blood Legion's armies, the situation of the war would change. The Devil Blood Legion's advantage wouldn't be so great, and the war wouldn't be so difficult. The 9 Heavens Legion wouldn't be surrounded by the Devil Blood Legion. Tranquility and Seven Ju were both waiting. They knew that Night Sorrow might have made some arrangements. New Lin had led his men to kill all the Dark Abyss warriors around the Great Formation. Then he had been guarding it in the dark. The main reason was that he didn't want anyone to report to the 2 armies of the Demon Blood Legion, so that they wouldn't enter the formation. Summer City stared at the array. He knew that this was Night Sorrow's chance. It was the 9 Heavens Legion's chance. If they could win this battle, the 9 Heavens Legion would have a chance to defeat the Devil Blood Legion. Then Night Sorrow's position and prestige in the Qing Emperor's dynasty would be unshakable. Even Sandalwood didn't have such a battle record back then. L+P The two armies of the Devil Blood Legion were advancing rapidly. Devil Blood's order was to reach Blackwater Town as soon as possible. Even if they couldn't contend against Night Sorrow's army, they had to bite down on Night Sorrow's troops and buy time for the reinforcements to arrive. Seeing that the two armies of the Devil Blood Legion had entered the formation, the vanguard troops had already left the formation. Before the reinforcements entered the formation, Summer City threw 2 Holy Spirit stones that were infused with energy into the formation. With the 2 Saint Spirit stones in Summer City's hand, the Deathlock array was activated. Wind and thunder rose from the ground. As the energy surged, a soldier of the Devil Blood Legion was enveloped by the formation. Seeing that the array formation had successfully trapped the Devil Blood army, Summer City let out a long howl. Night Sorrow waved his left hand and threw out a few Holy Spirit stones to stop the illusion array. He then shouted to the people behind him and led them towards the killing array. When Yi Shang and the others arrived, Nu Lin and his team were besieged. Seeing that Night Sorrow's formation was effective, Nu Lin didn't wait for Night Sorrow and the others to arrive and attacked. As a result, there were still many people who weren't trapped by the formation. They directly surrounded their small team. Brothers, kill. Let's end this quickly. Night Sorrow waved Splitter and charged towards Nu Lin's small team. The Angry Qilin army, the Calm Peace army, and the Black Tiger army were well trained and had a joint attack formation. How could they compare to the Devil Blood army, which had been thrown into disarray by the formation? In a little more than 15 minutes, the Devil Blood Legion that weren't trapped by the formation were all killed. There were no prisoners at all. Get ready. I will open the formation and kill the people inside. Then, we will have a great achievement, Night Sorrow said as he looked at his blood-stained battle robe. During this period of time, Night Sorrow had consumed a lot of energy. During the battle, he didn't use energy to protect himself. Your Highness, you can just command the battle. Don't charge, Summer City said worriedly. Actually, it wasn't that he was worried. It was that he felt sorry for Night Sorrow. Brothers, you are all fighting with your lives on the line. As long as I am alive, I will fight alongside you all. Night Sorrow said as he turned around to look at the bloodstained Nine Heavens army soldiers. Summer City nodded and didn't say anything else. This was Night Sorrow's insistence. Seeing that everyone was ready, Night Sorrow opened the killing array and began the second round of slaughter. The soldiers of the Nine Heavens Legion were all ferocious. Although they had expended a bit of energy, they could make up for it with their joint attack formation. Hunting down the Devil Blood Legion that was in disarray wasn't difficult at all. The main reason was that the Nine Heavens Legion had more generals. Generals played a crucial role in this kind of battle. 1 hour later, the Nine Heavens Legion led by Yi Shang had destroyed this army as well. Give everyone half a cup of tea's time. Clean up the battlefield and then gather. Night Sorrow gave the order. At the same time, he fell into deep thought. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow waved his hand at Nu Lin. Commander, what are your orders? Nu Lin shook off the blood on his halberd and walked over. Today, I won't play by the rules. Send scouts to continue scouting, Night Sorrow said to Nu Lin. His eyes were filled with killing intent. After 2 battles, Night Sorrow's fighting spirit was at its peak. Yes. Nu Lin's eyes lit up. He didn't think that Night Sorrow wouldn't take everyone away. He still had the courage to fight. This was what he wanted to see. Everyone, gather at your previous position. 7 absolutes. You take a small team and clean up the surroundings, as well as the area around the plaza. I don't want any information to leak out and delay the battle. Yi Sorrow gave 7 absolutes instructions. 7 took the order and went to work. Night Sorrow brought everyone back to the illusion area in the center of the town. He activated the array again and installed the teleportation crystal. Now those who are heavily injured, teleport back to recover. And Pingjun, teleport back and pass on my order to Qinleitang. Thunder Army, teleport back quickly. Night Sorrow ordered tranquility. After the previous battle, Night Sorrow realized that Impingjuan's fighting strength was slightly weaker than the Nu Lin army. The Black Tiger Army was made up of the elites of the Sky Tiger Pass Army. Their fighting strength was also shocking, surpassing Impingjuan's. Soon, other than Summer City, everyone else returned. Nu Lin and Seven also returned. However, the two small teams they led were still outside the array. "Commander, it's done." Nu Lin and Seven bowed to Night Sorrow. "Distribute resources to everyone. Recover as soon as possible. There may be more battles," Night Sorrow said to the two. Nu Lin and Seven nodded and turned to make arrangements. Night Sorrow also sat cross-legged and cultivated. And Pingjun left and the Thunder Army moved in. The rotation of the military forces was carried out in an orderly manner. Emo Shui was infuriated. 2 armies had been devoured in less than 2 hours. He didn't understand where Yishang had gotten so much military power, because it was impossible for Yishang to not guard Heaven Tiger Pass. Right now his Devil Blood Legion was still rather far from Blackwater Town. "Men, order the 2 armies closest to Blackwater Town to move towards Blackwater Town as fast as possible. The other armies will surround the route. Dark Feather, you take 2 armies. You take the Shadow Army to Sky Tiger Pass, and see if there is an opportunity to attack. Even if there isn't, hide well and block their route." Emo Shui issued a series of orders. You're tuning in to the Echoes of the Heart YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.